Thunder roared, and a torrential storm raged outside the palace. Inside the magnificent Jin ancestral temple, the Grand Empress Dowager of the Great Jin Dynasty frantically chanted prayers. Oh heavens, hear my plea. A complete set of ritual offerings lay before her. Oh, spirits of the earth, listen. Whispers filled the air around her. It's unbelievable. The 8th princess, raised in seclusion, is so charming and adorable. This was Feng Dao Dao, the 8th princess of the Great Jin Dynasty. Looking at her, one couldn't help but feel a sense of pity. A bolt of lightning split the sky above the palace, as if foreshadowing something. Perhaps startled by the loud thunder, she opened her eyes in a daze, her face blank with confusion. Scratching her head, she murmured, "Where am I? Who am I? What is this place?" Her eyes widened in surprise. I'm not dead. Excitement bubbled up inside her. I'm a soybean spirit who failed my tribulation. I've been reborn as a human. I can finally be a person. But, alas, life is full of disappointments. Before she could celebrate, a voice boomed like a great bell. The time has come. Draw the blood. Suddenly, a servant girl grabbed her arm. The servant girl raised a dagger. 8th princess, please forgive me. She was still struggling to understand what was happening. What was going on? She gripped the water basin in front of her tightly. The memories of the original owner of this body flooded her mind. The 8th princess was born a curse to her mother. The Grand Empress Dowager considered her an ill omen and never informed the emperor of her birth. She locked the 8th princess away in the cold palace. The servants could only soothe her day after day. Don't be afraid, princess. This old servant will stay with you. More whispers followed. So pitiful. TSK, TSK, TSK. The emperor was critically ill and unconscious. The Grand Empress Dowager summoned a Zen master who relayed the will of heaven. Only the blood of the 8th princess could serve as a catalyst to awaken the emperor. He right there, so imposing. Feng Yan, the emperor of the Great Jin Dynasty. She understood her current predicament. So, I'm Feng Dao Dao, the 8th princess of the Great Jin. They want my blood. I'm Feng Dao Dao, the 8th princess of the Great Jin. They want my blood. That person is me. She couldn't believe her luck was this bad. Damn it. I just got reborn, haven't even had a chance to enjoy life, and they're gonna drain me dry. An image of her tombstone flashed through her mind. Feng Dao Dao. Lived for 3 years, 6 months, and 8 days. If I become a ghost, I'll haunt every single one of them. Damn you, heavens. You're playing with me. But it seemed the Grand Empress Dowager situation was about to get worse, as a bolt of lightning struck the hall without warning. The servant girl never expected retribution to come so swiftly. A piece of debris hit her head, and she screamed. Panic erupted, and everyone started shouting, "Fire!" The Grand Empress Dowager panicked. "Quick, put out the fire." Everyone scrambled, some even tripping over themselves. Ouch! She clicked her tongue impatiently. A bunch of useless fools. Seeing the situation worsen, the Zen master thought, oh no, the heavens are angered. This must be done quickly. Hearing this, the Grand Empress Dowager grew even more anxious. The heavens are angered. This 8th princess truly is a jinx. She saw an opportunity. No, I have to protect myself. While they're busy putting out the fire by the window, I have to wake up that tyrant. She went to the emperor's side and tried to climb onto him, primarily to save herself. I haven't even had a chance to be a good person, and I'm about to become a ghost. My senior brothers and sisters on Mount Qingling will laugh at me. She used her spiritual power to heal the emperor. My healing spiritual power will save him as long as I touch him. She clung to the emperor. The more contact, the better the effect. The Grand Empress Dowager was terrified. 8th princess, pull her away. The servant girls tried to stop her, but to no avail. 8th princess, get down. She was resolute. No, I have to save Father Emperor. She didn't bother arguing with them. For mortals, this embrace was a coveted remedy. The emperor slowly woke up, his mind in a haze. Where is this milky scent coming from? It makes me feel so relaxed. Finally, this day has come. I've waited so long. She seized the opportunity. He was awake. It was unclear if she was an actress in her past life, but tears welled up in her eyes. Father Emperor, don't die. Wah. The emperor wasn't fully conscious yet. What is this thing? The Grand Empress Dowager watched the scene unfold. What else could she do but watch? It's over. All the servants knelt. Your Majesty, please punish us. She was ecstatic. Father Emperor, you're awake. No matter the lifetime, her obsession with beautiful men was eternal. She sighed. This tyrant is so handsome, even more handsome than that fox spirit, the most beautiful man on Mount Qingling. But why does he look so familiar? The emperor's voice was low. Get out of my sight. She obediently complied, certainly not planning to tell the heavens. But that fake, saccharine smile remained plastered on her face. All right, Fang Yan studied her with a scrutinizing gaze. She's not afraid of me. This child's soul feels to place such trust in me. Could her condition have improved? Her silence. The emperor is overthinking it, way overthinking it. I'm merely protecting myself. Humph. The emperor stroked her head and asked, what did you just call me? Meeting his gaze after the question, she was about to answer. Just then, the Empress Dowager entered, interrupting. My son, how are you feeling? She's about to reveal everything. My son doesn't seem angry. Fan Yin turned to his mother and only then noticed the monk. He asked, who is he? The monk bowed, Your Majesty. The Empress Dowager smoothly explained, this is Master Li, whom I specifically invited to pray for blessings and drive away evil spirits for you, Your Majesty. Look, after Master Li's ritual, your spirit is much better. Ugh, Feng Yao is getting anxious. I didn't expect her to try to take the credit. The Empress Dowager is deliberately opposing me. I need to find a way to clean up this mess. Her gaze landed on something, the knife from earlier. A flash of inspiration struck her. I've got it. She ran straight towards the knife, picked it up, and ran back to the emperor. This action startled everyone. Assassinating the emperor. Heavens, what is the 8th princess doing? A servant hurriedly stepped forward to stop her, but it was too late. She had already reached Fan Yin, lowered her head, and raised the knife. She finally presented the knife to the emperor. Father, here you go. The emperor was clearly taken aback. Before the emperor could finish, she pointed at the Empress Dowager with an innocent look. They said that if father drank my blood, you would recover and live a long and healthy life. She extended her arm. Now that father is awake, just drink the blood directly. The freshly drawn blood is still warm. The Empress Dowager could no longer tolerate her nonsense and said, Child, what are you doing? Handing your father a knife. Someone, take the 8th princess away. She was panicking internally. You damn girl. How dare you spout such nonsense? I went through so much trouble to keep this from the emperor. The servants grabbed her, and she panicked. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. I want to cure father. She looked towards the only person who could save her now. If this tyrant knew the truth, the Empress Dowager would definitely drain my blood. I don't want to die. Sensing her pleading gaze, the emperor finally ordered, Stop. Hearing this, the servants released her. Tang Yun turned to the Empress Dowager. Mother explained, brief and to the point, straight to the core. Truly the tyrant's nature. Now she was panicking. If it weren't for this little brat causing such a commotion, this matter would have already passed. I'm finished. She glared at her with hatred, and she simply returned the gaze innocently, her face written with it wasn't me. Turns out the palace is full of drama queens. She immediately changed her tune. I did all this for your majesty. Even she had to admire how quickly the Empress Dowager could change her face. Then she began to explain, ever since your majesty contracted this strange illness, you have been unconscious far more often than awake. All the imperial physicians are helpless. I consulted Grand Tutor Li, and he divined that your majesty has encountered a sword tribulation. It's more like she's the biggest tribulation. She continued to feign grievance. There's a cure. According to the birth dates and times, it is this 8th princess. She's playing the same trick again. Your majesty fainted again today, so I hurriedly invited the Zen master to perform the ritual. It already sounds utterly absurd. The emperor's face was filled with rage. Nonsense. Someone drag this charlatan away and execute him in public. Leave his corpse exposed outside the city for 10 days and 10 nights. Unexpectedly, he was the one most injured by this. He hurriedly pleaded, Your Majesty, spare me. Every word I said is true. The 8th princess is indeed the cure. It's true, but not by using her blood. The emperor glared furiously. A tiger doesn't eat its cubs. Killing one's own daughter. I already have the reputation of a tyrant. Is this charlatan trying to label me a foolish ruler as well? The Empress Dowager stood speechless. Before she could finish, the emperor interrupted. All right, mother must be tired. Return to your palace and rest. With that, he immediately ordered, escort the Empress Dowager back to her palace. Just like that, The Empress Dowager left, her venomous gaze lingering on her, sending chills down her spine. That woman is finally gone. The Emperor turned to her. You, understanding what he was about to do, she happily ran over. Daddy, daddy, hug, hug. Without waiting for the Emperor's consent, she climbed onto him and nuzzled against him. The Emperor was also somewhat surprised. This bold little thing is my daughter. When did I have a daughter? She immediately used her spiritual power to help the Emperor. I offended the Empress Dowager to save my life. I can't let the tyrant die. I have to give him some spiritual power to heal his injuries. The Emperor held her, feeling much better. My head is still a little dizzy, but smelling the milky scent on this child, I feel much more comfortable and my spirit is much better. She said with certainty, Daddy, Daddy, I will save you. I won't let you die. The tyrant sighed and smiled awkwardly. What do you understand? Then he immediately called for someone. Eunuch Zong. Eunuch Zong walked over and bowed. Your servant is here. The Emperor grabbed her. Take this child back with me. Just like that, the Emperor handed her over to the servants. She breathed a sigh of relief. Dodged a bullet. Dodged a bullet. Finally, this little life is saved. Once she was far away, the Emperor spoke. Eunuch Zong, when did I have a daughter? Why have I never seen this little thing before? Eunuch Zong replied, Your Majesty, the 8th princess's birth mother was consort Bai, but she died of postpartum hemorrhage. The 8th princess has been raised in the palace by consort Bai's old wet nurse, Nanny Shu. Nanny Shu, she has been living in Tianjin Palace. He felt strange. Tianjin Palace. There's such a place in the palace. Eunuch Zong then explained. Tianjin Palace is an abandoned palace, already dilapidated. The plaque is covered with cobwebs. Shocked, confused, dumbfounded. She couldn't believe that this was where she lived. She was dumbfounded by the scene before her. What bad luck have I run into? How can my life be so dark? This is where I live. The moon was high in the sky. Finally, the long day is almost over. But wait, a rumbling sound came from her stomach. She covered her stomach. So this is what it feels like to be hungry. She murmured to herself, I've lived for thousands of years, and this is the first time I've been hungry. Was life too good before or what? She then recalled her glorious past. I was originally just an ordinary lovesick being. One day, I fell into the hands of a man, and a handsome man at that. The man said, Little bean, how did you carelessly get blown down by the wind? The man looked at me. You probably don't want to be bound, right? Since you've fallen into my hands, you and I are fated. I'll take you to see Mount Wangue. I was overjoyed, my eyes sparkling. It's so lucky to meet a benefactor. The benefactor took me everywhere. I saw many unprecedented sights. Finally, the benefactor took me to the spiritual Qingling Mountain. After 800 years of spiritual nourishment, I grew up. About 200 years ago, my spiritual consciousness finally awakened. I made many friends. We cultivated together, desperately trying to become immortals. Today was supposed to be the day I finally ascended after overcoming the tribulation. Everyone was cheering me on. Little bean, you can do it. And then, just as I was about to succeed, a bolt of lightning struck me down. Sigh, what a bummer. If I had succeeded, I wouldn't be here, right? In the end, I didn't become an immortal, and I don't know if that lightning bolt killed me. Instead, I transmigrated to this place. Before I could figure out what was going on, I was dragged away by some maid of the Empress Dowager. My heart is full of resentment. I can't live a miserable life, can I? Am I really going to end up starving and freezing, living in a leaky, thatched hut? No way. Suddenly, someone shuffled over and called me. Little princess, where are you? Cough, cough. Her call startled me. I looked up to see who it was. Then the original owner's memories flooded into my mind. This is Nanny Shu. She has been taking care of the 8th princess. I murmured, Nanny Shu. Behind her, there was a blurry figure. Could it be the original owner's soul? I finally understood why I transmigrated into the 8th princess. Because she's already dead. It was late autumn, and the first snow of winter had fallen last night. The weather turned from slightly cool to bitterly cold. Nanny Shu fell ill and went into a coma. Feng Daodu also caught a cold and fainted several times. No one covered her with a blanket. No one warmed her, so she froze to death. Only no one knew. Nanny Shu shuffled over to me. 8th princess, this old servant was so frightened when I woke up and couldn't see you. It's good that you're back. You must be hungry. This old servant will go and prepare some food for you. I looked back at the original owner's soul. It seems Nanny Shu can't see her. Night fell, and heavy snow flew, covering the sky and the earth in white. I quietly said to the original owner's soul, "You go. Go find a family that won't let you starve or freeze." The original owner was surprised to hear me say this. Can I really find such a place? But I don't know how to get there. I pointed her in a direction. Close your eyes and then feel with your heart for a place with light. Follow the light. But the original owner's soul seemed reluctant to leave alone. "Can I take Nanny Shu with me?" I immediately refused. "Nanny Shu can't go. She has to stay here." The original owner's eyes started to water. "I don't want to be alone." "Then I'll stay here." I panicked. Souls need to be reincarnated. If you don't go, the monks will come and get you, and then your soul will be scattered. The original owner didn't understand a word. Seeing how clueless the little thing was, I put on my most trustworthy expression. "Just go find a good family to be reborn into, and you won't suffer in your next life. Don't worry, I'll take care of Nanny Shu for you. I'll live a good life in your place." The original owner seemed convinced. "Okay." With that, she closed her eyes and vanished into thin air. I had just breathed a sigh of relief when Nanny Shu brought over a bowl of soup. Nanny Shu said comfortingly, "Cough, cough, little princess. Have some hot soup to warm yourself up. You haven't eaten anything all day. You must be starving." I hugged Nanny Shu. Nanny Shu hug. I had my own plans. It wasn't easy for Nanny Shu to come all the way here in the middle of the night. The old woman gently hugged her back. "All right, Nanny will hug you." Meanwhile, I was secretly channeling spiritual energy to Nanny Shu. I promised Feng Daodu that I wouldn't let anything happen to Nanny Shu. Nanny Shu seemed to sense something. Why do I feel so much warmer and less dizzy holding the little princess? I nuzzled against Nanny Shu. Nanny is the best. But secretly, I was checking her pulse. Normal temperature, no fever, and her pulse isn't weak. Nanny Shu immediately offered the bowl of soup. "Little princess, eat quickly." Bah. Just looking at it made me want to cry. I protested inwardly. I don't want to eat wild vegetables. I want to eat meat. Though I resisted, not much. In the end, Nanny Shu still fed me. "Little princess, eat while it's hot." I silently wept inside. A few days later, I sat dully on the porch, sobbing softly. My life is so miserable. It's been 3 days. It's either sweet potatoes or wild vegetable soup. I don't want to be human anymore. The water on Ling Mountain was so much better. I jumped up. "Heavens, are you trying to starve me to death? If you can, then stop making me eat sweet potatoes and wild vegetable soup every day. I ask you, do you dare to give me some meat?" I angrily picked up a stone and threw it at the sky. "If you don't give me meat, I'll hit you with this." As luck would have it, the stone actually hit something, startling even me. I was surprised by my own talent. An unlucky white bird had been hit. It must have been too busy playing. Seeing meat, everything around me blurred. Wow, meat. There's meat to eat. Eat. Eat what? Eat who? Hearing this, the bird suddenly opened its eyes. As soon as it opened its eyes, it saw me drooling. "Heavens, you're too good to me. I had just been cursing a moment ago." The bird felt wronged. "It was you who threw the rock and knocked me down." Without another thought, I grabbed the bird, ready to turn it into meat. "Nanny Shu. Nanny Shu, we have meat to eat." Nanny Shu exclaimed in surprise. "Oh my little princess, where did you get this bird?" I replied, "The heavens bestowed it upon me." It fell into the courtyard, and I picked it up. Nanny Shu was a little suspicious, fell down. "It's quite heavy, but this bird looks a little familiar." She remembered something. Didn't the noble consort have a 7-colored bird? I pleaded with Nanny Shu. "Let's roast the bird and eat it." She hesitated for a moment. She pondered. "Our little princess hasn't eaten meat for half a year. It's so pitiful, and she's at a crucial stage of growth. She needs to eat meat." So she agreed. "All right, I'll go kill the bird and roast it now. In half an hour, our little princess will have meat to eat." Oh my God, there's nothing more wonderful than this. I jumped up and hugged her. "Great. Nanny Shu, eat with me." But clearly, someone wasn't doing so well. Nanny Shu was happy to see me like this. The little princess is much more lively now and clingy, always wanting hugs. But strangely, every time she hugs me, I feel much more energetic. It seems that the little princess and I have a special connection. That's what Nanny Shu thought, but in reality, it was me secretly channeling spiritual energy to her. I instructed Nanny Shu to stay in the courtyard and bask in the sun. Don't run around outside. Nanny Shu agreed. Okay, I'll wait for the bird meat outside. Then I wandered around the garden with a fighting spirit. Maybe a bigger bird will fly by. The clouds drifted by silently, thinking Is this girl too silly? Even the clouds were looking at me with speechless expressions. I felt like I was becoming a fool, let alone a big bird. There wasn't even a fly. So infuriating. So I plopped down. Forget it. If the heavens bestow upon me a big bird, it'll be enough for Nanny Shu and me to eat for 2 days. After we finish eating, maybe the heavens will bestow more meat upon me. There's a saying that really suits me, lazy glutton. So I leisurely enjoyed this moment. Meat. After 1,000 years, I can finally eat meat. Lying around idly like this is surprisingly difficult. She started to let her mind wander again. Why was it that when I faced heavenly tribulation, I wasn't scattered into oblivion, nor did I ascend to immortality, but instead became Feng Dao Du? She pondered the reason, picking up a feather and examining it. The fox spirits in the mountains always told me that everything has its order, every event its cause. There must be some reason behind all this. She thought of her father again. Father's appearance seems so familiar. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Recalling the moment father said stop, she sat back down to ponder. He must be someone very important to me. But who is he? Suddenly, it became very noisy outside. Noble consort, your servant saw your 7-colored bird fly this way, but I couldn't find it. How could the 7-colored bird fly here and then disappear? Could it have flown so far to play? Hearing the voices, she thought, wow, there seem to be a lot of people. Still clutching the feather, she ran over. But Nanny Shu told me not to go out, just to play in the courtyard. A rough kick flung open the door to her palace, and a figure sauntered in. Startled, she foolishly asked, "Who are you?" The 7-colored feather in her hand caught everyone's attention. The noble consort's face darkened. "Where did you get that feather? Did a bird fall here?" Feng Daodu sensed something was wrong. "Are they here to steal my meat too? That's the meal heaven granted me. No one could take it away." She quickly said, "No, there's nothing here. Go away, go away." The noble consort wasn't fooled. "Search the place," she ordered. Hearing this, Feng Daodu blocked the way. "No, you can't come in. This is my territory. No one can enter without my permission." Just then, Nanny Shu came out. "Little princess, what's going on?" Seeing Nanny Shu, the noble consort roared, "That's my 7-colored bird. You wretch, you dare steal my 7-colored bird." Nanny Shu was startled and loosened her grip. And noble consort, seizing the opportunity, the 7-colored bird, with its 3 legs and 4 claws, quickly scurried away. Feng Daodu struggled again. "That's not your bird. That's the meat heaven granted me to eat. We're going to make soup with it." She thought, "I'll bite anyone who tries to steal my meat." The bird darted around, and Feng Daodu chased after it like a madwoman. "Oh, my meat!" Then, one of the noble consort's servants struck her. "Insolent girl, how dare you be so disrespectful to the noble consort?" Feng Daodu was hit and cried out in pain. "Oh, that hurts." Nanny Shu rushed over to help her up. "Little princess, where are you hurt?" Seeing a small cut on Feng Daodu's hand, Nanny Shu couldn't hold back any longer. "You impudent servant, how dare you push the little princess? Do you know who she is? She's the 8th princess." The servant scoffed. "You say she's the 8th princess, so she is." "Huh, if she were the 8th princess, why would she be living in this wretched place?" The noble consort gritted her teeth. "You audacious dog, how dare you shout in front of this consort? I ask you, what happened to my 7-colored bird? Did you pluck its feathers and plan to stew it? Do you want to die?" She then ordered, "Seize this wretch and give her 20 lashes. The servant sneered. 8th princess. What a joke. She's nothing but a motherless waste abandoned in this broken-down palace, unwanted by the Empress Dowager and the Emperor." Feng Daodu stepped forward to shield Nanny Shu. "Don't you touch Nanny Shu." Tears welled up in Feng Daodu's eyes. She told herself, "Don't cry, don't cry. 20 lashes will kill Nanny Shu. I have to protect Nanny Shu." This infuriated the noble consort. She roared, "What are you all standing around for? Pull this little brat away and beat Nanny Shu to death on the spot." Feng Daodu refused to back down. "It wasn't Nanny Shu who plucked the feathers. It was me." Hearing this, the noble consort became even more furious. "Seize that stinking brat." Nanny Shu hugged Feng Daodu tightly. "Noble consort, it was this old servant who plucked the feathers. It has nothing to do with the little princess." Feng Daodu looked at Nanny Shu with heartache. She wiped away Nanny Shu's tears and comforted her. "Don't cry, Nanny Shu. I'll protect you." Feng Daodu cursed inwardly. "Damn you, you thieving heavens. You're trying to kill me again." However, her luck wasn't entirely bad. A majestic voice came from outside. Who dares touch my daughter? The sea before a storm is always unusually calm. Feng Yin strode in, majestic and imposing, with an aura powerful enough to captivate any woman. Seeing the emperor, the servants knelt respectfully. The two-faced noble consort immediately changed her demeanor and approached him sweetly. Your Majesty, she thought triumphantly, my luck is truly excellent today to encounter His Majesty here. The emperor asked, what's going on here? Why all the commotion? The tyrant's gaze swept across the scene, landing on one person. He saw Feng Daodu crying in fright. This little thing, why is she always so pitiful every time she sees me? Seeing the emperor, Feng Daodu felt like she had seen her savior. She cried out, Father, and ran towards him. Father, hug. Yin Xiang was startled, thinking, oh no, His Majesty has a phobia of uncleanliness. If the little princess pounces on him like this, he'll probably push her away. Yin Xiang hurried forward. All right, I'll block her. Please don't push the little princess too hard. She ran over and hugged the emperor. Yin Xiang's soul nearly flew out of her body. Her face was covered in tears and snot. Wah, Father, she stole my meat. The emperor froze, unsure what to do. The noble consort began to cry. Your Majesty, this is the bird I've raised for 3 years. She wiped her eyes and continued. The 8th princess wanted to make it into soup. Fortunately, I arrived in time. Your Majesty must uphold justice for me. The inner palace truly is a cruel place. The emperor turned to Nanny Shu suspiciously and asked, Nanny Shu, is this true? Nanny Shu immediately knelt down and pleaded, Your Majesty, spare me. This servant truly didn't know that this bird was the noble consort's beloved pet. If I had known, even if I had 10 times the courage, I wouldn't dare touch the noble consort's bird. Feng Daodu hung her head dejectedly. Wasn't this big bird a gift from heaven? Enduring the awkwardness, she clung tightly to the emperor's leg. Father, I was wrong. She glanced at the bird, which looked thoroughly frightened. Such a big piece of meat just gone. The emperor bent down to help her up. She used her ultimate weapon, looking at him pitifully. Father, who could resist such a scene? Not even a tyrant could. So he asked, what did you do wrong? She replied, innocently, I thought this big bird was a gift from heaven. I was hungry and wanted to eat meat. She scratched her head obediently. Eating more meat will help me grow more blood, so I can cure Father's illness. Eunuch Zhang, who was listening nearby, was deeply moved. Your Majesty, the 8th princess is truly filial. The emperor looked at her with heartache. So thin, how much blood could she possibly have? Thinking this, the emperor immediately looked around. Tianjin Palace was dilapidated. There were only a few sweet potatoes, and the crops had only a few seedlings. It wasn't nearly enough to eat. The emperor's face was filled with rage. This is the provision for Tianjin Palace. My daughter, right under my nose, has to rely on raw sweet potatoes to survive. Feng Daodu trembled with fear. I am screwed. The tyrant seemed truly angry. Usually, if I do something wrong, admitting it first might lead to leniency. Father, I apologize to the noble consort. It was all my fault. Nanny Shu didn't know anything. Is she a bug or something? My hand is injured, and I'm being bullied. She wiped her tears with her hand. Wah, I'm injured, I didn't get to eat the meat, and I have to find a way not to implicate Nanny Shu. Her reddened hand caught the emperor's attention. You're injured. The emperor's face darkened. Oh dear, someone's going to be in big trouble. This time, he's truly angry. She took a step back. I'm done for. He's about to explode. The noble consort was still smug, waiting to see how His Majesty would deal with her. Little did she know, a tsunami was about to crash down on her head. At this moment, the emperor spoke. Who hurt you? Plot twist, everyone. The noble consort was completely dumbfounded. She never expected the emperor to ask this question. Even I was stunned. The topic changed too abruptly. The servant, realizing his career was about to end, immediately knelt down. Your Majesty, spare me. Your Majesty, spare me. It was this servant's carelessness that caused the 8th princess to fall. The emperor only wanted to know who did it and didn't listen to any explanations. He immediately ordered, drag this servant away and execute him. The soldiers obeyed the order and immediately stepped forward. The servant trembled all over, desperately pleading, Your Majesty, spare me. Your Majesty, spare me. This servant will never dare to do it again. Knowing he was doomed, he turned to the noble consort. Noble consort, save me. My dear, I can barely protect myself. How can I save you? The world is a cold place. She turned her head and said, His Majesty wants to kill you. What's the use of begging me? Inwardly, she sneered. Do you expect me to offend His Majesty for you? In your dreams. She kicked him directly, but unease began to stir in her heart. But His Majesty killed my man because of the 8th princess. Well, has he ever cared about this little bean sprout? She watched in astonishment as the servant was dragged away. Feng Daodu ran to the emperor's side and pleaded, "Father, don't kill him. I only suffered a minor injury. Don't kill someone because of Daodu." The tyrant's gaze fell upon her. Everyone was stunned to hear her make such a suggestion. The noble consort sneered at the emperor. How dare she plead for mercy when His Majesty is punishing someone? This little brat is dead for sure. Eunuch Zhang also felt a pang of worry for her. The 8th princess is finished now. A silence fell over the surroundings. It was Feng Daodu who broke the silence. "Is that all right, father?" The emperor simply nodded slightly in agreement. Well, it's a miracle. Both of them were stunned by the tyrant's answer. It's all right. Even the emperor himself was surprised. I actually agreed. She began to dance for joy. "Father, you're the best. Good people live long lives. Feng Daodu will definitely help you live to be 100 years old." The emperor frowned. "I'm a good person." He had never thought anyone would say that about him. "Everyone in the world curses me behind my back, hoping for my early demise. This little girl actually thinks I'm a good person. The emperor should get used to it, because there are more surprises to come." He felt a flicker of interest. That's new. She grinned foolishly at the emperor, then suddenly froze, staring intently at him. They say one should act unexpectedly, and that's exactly what she did. She rubbed her face on the emperor's dragon robe, startling him. She didn't think much of it, only that having so much dirt on her face was uncomfortable. She grinned. "Hee, feels much better, so much more comfortable." A few minutes ago, Eunuch Zhang had reminded him, "Your Majesty, you have a phobia of dirt. I'm decades old, and I never thought a little brat would wipe their face on my clothes." And so, the emperor gritted his teeth, suppressing his anger, and said through clenched teeth, "Get out." Feng Daodu wisely retreated immediately. "All right." She skipped over to the noble consort. "My head is starting to hurt. It was fine just now, but I suddenly felt dizzy." She clasped her hands together and bowed apologetically to the noble consort. "I'm sorry. It's my fault." The little bird seemed to sense something. She raised her head and continued, "Big bird, I thought you were meat bestowed upon me by the heavens, so I wanted to make soup out of you." "I'm sorry." She offered. "You must be in a lot of pain, right? Let me heal you." But her offer was brushed aside by the noble consort. "Get lost." The emperor's gaze was displeased, a flicker of warning in his eyes. "Oops, I said the wrong thing. Now I'm worried. I absolutely cannot anger His Majesty." She could only bite the bullet and pretend nothing was wrong. The 8th princess can hug it if she wants. Whatever. But the little bird didn't think so. She took the bird and started using her spiritual power to heal it. "Be good, big bird. Don't worry. Your feathers will grow back soon." After healing it, she returned the bird. "Noble consort, here you are." To say she wasn't depressed would be a lie. She was extremely depressed. The delicious bird meat was gone. The emperor finally spoke. "Noble consort, this little thing wants to eat your bird, so let her eat it." The noble consort was stunned. What was wrong with the emperor today? Why was he being so nice to this little girl? The bird was even more shocked. "This little girl healed me to make the meat tastier." Holy crap. The noble consort trembled with anger. "Your Majesty." She didn't expect him to actually say that. Hadn't he been indifferent to this little girl before? Why was he paying attention to her now? She worried her bird would truly become a meal. She quickly declined. "Thank you, father, but I cannot eat the big bird. The resentment in my heart is about to explode. Can you please not drag me into this? I just got reborn, and I've already offended the Empress Dowager, and now the noble consort. How am I supposed to survive in the palace? This is truly terrible luck." The emperor had been breaking out in cold sweats since earlier. She only just noticed. "Oh no, father is sick." Seeing this, she ran over and called out, "Father." Without waiting for his consent, she threw herself at his legs, shouting, "Hug, hug." The tyrant felt a little strange. What's going on? "As soon as this child hugs me, I stop feeling dizzy." She giggled and called out, "Father." The tyrant's expression softened considerably. His eyes filled with affection as he looked at her. "She's worried about me." She stretched out her small arms. "Father, why don't you drink my blood? Then you'll get better." "Really, I'm thinking about the bigger picture." "Father, you must live a long life. If you die, I'm done for." She tugged on his sleeve. "Father, let's go inside. I'll let you drink my blood. This girl is serious." "Oh my God, does my blood have healing properties? If Feng Yin drinks my blood, he might actually get better." The emperor looked at her with a complicated expression. Eunuch Zhang, who had been listening the whole time, finally spoke. The 8th princess is truly filial, so touching. He just had to add, "Oh dear, 8th princess, don't believe in such things. It's all nonsense. All these years, His Majesty has pacified the realm, working day and night, yet he's been labeled a tyrant." Eunuch Zhang rejoiced inwardly. The heavens have finally opened their eyes and given His Majesty a heartwarming little padded jacket. The morning sun was bright, and remnants of snow clung to the leaves. At this moment, the noble consort spoke. "Your Majesty, the 8th princess is still a child and doesn't understand the meaning of drinking blood. This concubine can prepare nourishing soups. Your Majesty, why not grace this concubine's palace? This concubine will stew some for you to try. This girl really knows how to seize an opportunity. Meeting His Majesty isn't easy. She couldn't let this little slip of a girl steal the limelight. As if you're worthy of stealing anything." At the mention of soup, the child's mouth practically watered. The emperor turned to her. "I have no desire for it. You may leave." Being rejected like this naturally left her feeling resentful. She secretly held a grudge. It was so hard to meet His Majesty, and yet it was ruined by this wretched child. Now that she thought about it, she was only able to see the emperor thanks to this little brat. Oh well, the emperor had spoken. What else could she do? This concubine will take her leave. She glared hatefully at Feng Daodu. "You little wretch, this palace will remember you." A flicker of pity flashed in the emperor's eyes. The child was so small and thin. His gaze then swept over the palace where she lived, only to see it covered in dust and cobwebs. He couldn't help but wonder, could it be that this child has been living in such a dilapidated place all this time? The emperor then asked Nanny Shu, "Was this child raised by you?" She replied, tremblingly, "Yes, it was this servant." He then put Feng Daoda down and simply instructed, "Take good care of the little princess." As soon as he finished speaking, he left. Feng Daoda didn't want him to go and called out, "Father." The carriage wheels creaked, gradually moving further away. She watched the carriage disappear, speechless. How could he leave so quickly? I still wanted to help him cultivate his spiritual power. She rubbed her legs. "I ran so far, my legs are sore, and I still didn't catch up. However, this father looks a little familiar. Like I've seen him somewhere before." She stared thoughtfully into the distance. Everyone else is afraid of him, but father is quite pitiful, suffering from a strange illness at such a young age. She grinned. "Hee hee, father, you need me in your life. With me, you can be healthy. Without me, you're doomed. I will definitely cure you." Meanwhile, the emperor was muttering to himself, "That child is rather interesting." Recalling her tear-stained little face, a gentle smile appeared on his face. "She's not afraid of me at all." Eunuch Zhang, who was standing beside him, chimed in, "Your Majesty, should we order someone to renovate Tianjing Palace? With the strong winds and heavy rain, how can a little princess live there?" The emperor agreed. "Yes, go and make the arrangements. Oh, and also go ask the empress if my privy purse is empty. Why doesn't Tianjing Palace even have a decent meal?" Thus, following the imperial decree, the renovation of Tianjing Palace was completed with astonishing speed. A brand new palace now stood before her. She gasped and pushed the door open to take a look. Everything around her instantly filled her with joy. So warm, so soft. Seeing how much she liked it, Eunuch Zhang was also very pleased. "8th princess, this is the Tianjing Palace that His Majesty specially renovated for you. His Majesty and the Empress have also said that if the princess needs anything, just go to the Empress. For a complete foodie, the most important thing was naturally food. If only I could eat some meat." Her wish was granted. Eunuch Zhang said, "It has already been prepared for the princess. Please take a look." A palace maid next to them spoke, "Greetings, 8th princess." A table piled high with food like a small mountain. Seeing so many delicious things, she didn't bother with formalities and directly pounced on the food, devouring it. As a member of the Fairy Republic, she naturally didn't leave a single scrap and even invited Nanny Shu to join her. "Nanny, you eat too." Seeing her eat with such relish, Nanny Shu was also happy. "Princess, eat quickly, eat more, eat your fill." Seeing that things were progressing smoothly, Eunuch Zhang excused himself. "This old servant won't disturb the princess's meal. This old servant will take his leave." At this age, besides eating and sleeping, what else could she do? She said to Nanny Shu, "Nanny, I'm so tired from eating, I want to sleep." Nanny Shu then helped her onto the bed and carefully tucked her in. "Princess, take a nap first. This old servant will go and prepare your dinner." She replied with a hum. Warm blankets, a comfortable mattress, In this kind of weather, it couldn't be more pleasant. This blanket is so comfortable. Unconsciously, she fell into a deep sleep. In her dream, she remembered her past life, a voice echoing, planting you here. The person continued, nourishing you with spiritual power. Little Dao Dao, if you can cultivate into a spirit here, if you can cultivate into human form. She said desperately, benefactor, don't go. I still don't know who you are. You are. She kept murmuring like this, tears streaming down her face. Then she suddenly woke up and cried out, benefactor. A look of joy appeared on her face as she murmured, my benefactor is actually Nanny. Nanny Shu said worriedly, did our little princess have a nightmare? Don't be afraid, Nanny is here. She hugged Nanny Shu tightly. Nanny, I remember my benefactor. I owe everything I have today to my benefactor. I remember now. No wonder Father felt so familiar the first time I saw him. Overjoyed, she realized, Father is my benefactor. She recalled his words, little being, if you can cultivate into a spirit and take human form, come find me. I'll wait for you. She quickly wiped away her tears. So, I became Feng Daodu to find my benefactor. She hurriedly grabbed a cloak. Father is suffering from a strange illness. I have to cure him. Putting on a cloak, she said to Nanny Shu, Nanny, I want to go find Father. She thought 1,000 years ago, Father gave me life. Nanny Shu was a little worried, but His Majesty is in Shenyang Palace. Before she could finish, Daodu was already heading out. Don't worry, Nanny, I know the way. Looking at the azure sky, she thought, now, I will let you continue to live. She was strolling leisurely when a strange sound caught her attention. Hit him. Beat him to death. Hiding behind a large rock, she wondered curiously what's going on. She saw a group of people bullying someone. How can they be so despicable? The bully grabbed the poor fellow's hair and yelled, you dare to come to the Imperial Garden. You must be tired of living. The others joined in, hit him. Now, somewhat annoyed, she rolled up her sleeves. How can they bully someone like this? Wait, she suddenly realized something. That's right. Looking at her small frame, she knew one punch could knock her out for days. But there are 3 of them, and only one of me. I definitely can't win. Suddenly, one of the bullies punched him, and it looked like it hurt a lot. She started to panic. What do I do? If this continues, this young man will be crippled. An idea struck her. I've got it. She shouted loudly. The Emperor is coming. The bullies were scared out of their wits and ran. Damn it, run. She cautiously walked out. Her eyes were filled with concern. Are you all right? The young man nodded. She gave him a sweet, innocent smile. Young man, the Emperor isn't here. I'll just scare them off. Let me help you up. She stepped forward to help him, calling out, young man. Seeing this innocent little girl, he was a little shy. Such a cute little dumpling, and her girlishness is still so yearning. Reborn as a human, she's still thirsty for men. TSK. This young man is even more beautiful than those fox spirits in the mountains. He shyly averted his gaze, while she noticed something about him. Looking at the wound on his face, she said, you're hurt. Without another word, she rushed forward and hugged him. Come here, young man. A hug will make it better. This life of spiritual power is really comfortable. I can always hug handsome men and rub against them. The young man's face flushed red, and he had to push her away. Who are you? He glanced at her furtively. No one has ever hugged me like this, but she's still worried about me. I can feel it. Then she answered his question. I'm Feng Daodu from Tianjing Palace. Young man, you can come and play with me sometime. She continued innocently, but I have to go find Father now. As if stabbed in the heart, he froze. Father, are you a princess? She was very surprised by his change in attitude. Yes, I'm the 8th princess. He turned and left. She's the daughter of that dog emperor. Didn't he just say he could feel her concern for him? What's going on? This young man is so strange. Why did he leave as soon as he heard I was a princess? But she's just a child. Why think so much? Oh well, Father is more important. She tiptoed into Father's room. She was stunned by the sight before her. It was her benefactor from her past life. She gazed at him thoughtfully. Father is asleep. He must be exhausted from official duties. As usual, she probably didn't expect that the Emperor had already noticed her. Why is this little thing here? Meanwhile, she was struggling to climb up just to transfer a little of my spiritual power to Father. She panted, is the Emperor's bed this high? Even I'm having trouble climbing it. I have to find an opportunity to heal someone. My life is so hard. The Emperor was already awake. He quietly opened his eyes, wanting to see what this little thing was doing. Watching this scene was both funny and amusing. This little rascal is frowning in thought. Why is she frowning at such a young age? Suddenly, she lost her balance and fell backward, crying out, ouch. She tumbled backward, completely out of control. Ouch. The emperor frowned. Just after mentioning one thing, another happens. This child. All right, I'll give you a hand. With that, he channeled his internal energy. He was quick too, catching her just as she nearly fell face first. And so, she landed safely on top of him. The emperor continued to feign sleep while she puzzled. I thought I was going to fall, but I ended up climbing on. It seems someone is secretly helping me. Could it be? She clasped her hands together. It must be the benevolent heavens helping me. Thank you, heavens. Watching this, the emperor couldn't help but chuckle softly. Still a child after all. However, my body truly is unwell. Using just that little bit of internal energy made me dizzy. Just then, she wobbled over and began to transfer spiritual power. The emperor immediately felt better, warm and cozy. I don't feel so bad anymore. She hugged him tightly. This is my benefactor and also my father. I can finally be with father forever. But then, noticing his pale face, she whispered, Father, I won't let you die. I'll save you. Hearing these words, the emperor's heart stirred. He wanted to stroke her head. So she's doing this to save me. She still remembers me. He wanted to move, but held back, simply holding her in his arms, a satisfied smile playing on his lips. Forget it. Don't frighten her. Still, with this little being by my side, I feel much better. She looked up at him, secretly delighted. Father looks much better. She glanced at the scissors on a nearby table. A thought struck her. Oh, perhaps I can secretly give father some of my blood to drink. It's so rare to be able to stay with him. Thinking this, she jumped down and walked toward the scissors. Perfect, that's it. The emperor watched her curiously. What is this little being up to now? She was small, and it took some effort to pick up the scissors. Got it. He felt a bit exasperated, playing with scissors. I must order them to put away all the sharp objects in the imperial study. It's too dangerous for a child to play with these things. She waved the scissors around haphazardly, amusing the emperor. Trying to climb on me again. This child really likes sitting on me. So clingy. The emperor fell into thought. I have 7 sons, and every one of them trembles before me, filled with awe and fear. None have ever been this close. Even I have never been this close to my birth mother. This child is truly special. He opened his eyes a slit to see what she was doing. She hasn't climbed up. Why is the imperial study so quiet? Then, the emperor suddenly jolted awake. Heavens, it really is her. She really does act on every whim. She's actually trying to slit her wrist. The emperor cried out in alarm. What are you doing? Startled, she replied, Father, how did you wake up? She was a little annoyed. So close. Hearing the commotion, the people outside rushed in. 8th princess, what are you doing? Eunuch Zhang hurried in. She quickly hid the scissors behind her back. I wasn't doing anything. I just want to see father. But the emperor picked her up and pulled out the hidden scissors. Oh dear. He tossed the scissors aside. I'm old. I can't handle you causing such a fuss. This little bean, she clearly wanted to hurt herself. The scissors clattered to the floor. The emperor asked her, Little bean, do you want me to drink your blood again? She clung to him, acting coquettishly. Father, my blood might make you feel better. Won't you try it? The emperor frowned sternly. If you dare feed me your blood again, I'll throw you out of the palace. But in his heart, he thought, silly child. Eunuch Zhang stepped forward to pick up the scissors, explaining, Oh my little ancestor, those rumors are all lies. Don't believe them. Eunuch Zhang thought to himself, this little princess's stubbornness is just like his majesty. Once she sets her mind on something, she'll see it through. What to do? She pondered. If she really was thrown out of the palace, she wouldn't have a chance to save her father. So, she had to compromise. I understand, father. Don't be angry. I've never seen saving someone be so difficult. She thought, sigh, my vital essence would definitely be more effective than using spiritual power. Father really doesn't know what's good for him. She sighed. Such a pity. The emperor chuckled softly and asked, Little bean, what are you sighing about? He pinched her cheek, thinking, I've already heard this little bean sigh twice. This is the first time I've seen a little girl sigh. She's quite the character. Seeing the father and daughter like this, Eunuch Zhang was moved to tears. His Majesty had raised 8 children, 7 sons who all wanted to be close to him, yet were all afraid of him, who knew that only this little princess, sent to the cold palace, would be willing to be close to him and be the most filial. It was truly heartbreaking. He wiped his eyes. The emperor then instructed, summon the imperial physician to bandage the princess's wound. Eunuch Zhang replied, Yes, your majesty. She thought, all right, if one plan fails, I'll come up with another. I won't give up. Father hugs. Can Dowdus sleep with you? Racking her brains, she thought, if father can't drink my blood, then I must heal him as much as possible. Only by staying with father can I replenish his spiritual power at any time. Pleased with her plan, she pleaded, can I visit father often from now on? The setting sun cast a warm glow, and silence fell around them. Then, a little girl's voice suddenly rang out, hugs. The emperor was caught off guard by her unexpected request. He awkwardly and stiffly gave her a hug. Wait, this works too. Her face started to turn blue, and she gasped. I can't breathe. Eunuch Zhang entered. Your Majesty, the imperial physician has arrived to bandage the little princess's wound. The emperor glanced at her. He had seen her twice, and each time she was filthy, but after being cleaned up, she was rather cute. She was looking at her bandaged wound, giggling, he like a little rice dumpling. The emperor watched, somewhat mesmerized. So pure and innocent, truly my daughter. Seeing this, Eunuch Zhang also said, Your Majesty, the little princess really resembles you when you were young. The emperor thought, that goes without saying. If she's not my daughter, who else could she resemble? Suddenly, someone announced, Your Majesty, noble consort Shu requests an audience. The emperor frowned slightly. Let her in, she thought. Wow, I didn't expect to run into her here. The noble consort was even more surprised. What a small world. This little brat is like a bad penny, impossible to get rid of. She glared fiercely at Feng Daodu, her eyes filled with anger and resentment. But she immediately changed her expression, feigning gentleness. Your Majesty, I have specially stewed a nourishing soup for you, most beneficial for your health. The emperor might not have felt much, but Feng Daodu's eyes lit up. Meat soup. It looks so delicious. The emperor noticed Feng Daodu's eager expression and took the bowl from the noble consort. The noble consort felt a surge of pride. His Majesty had never accepted food from anyone else. He drank my soup now. It seems I still hold some weight in his heart. Feng Daodu stared intently at the bowl, practically drooling. Father is so lucky. He has meat soup to drink. I want some too. She watched as the emperor scooped a spoonful of soup and offered it to her. Here, drink. How could she refuse delicious food offered to her? She gulped it down and said, Father is the best. The noble consort was so angry she could explode. I painstakingly simmered that soup for an hour, and it ended up in her belly. What makes me special anymore? It seems I'm just one of many concubines. The emperor noticed the noble consort standing there stiffly and dismissed her. The soup has been delivered. You may leave. Although his tone was gentle, it was an imperial decree. Yes, your Majesty. I shall take my leave. Before leaving, she gave Feng Daodu another fierce glare, thinking, every time I encounter this little jinx, nothing good ever happens. Feng Daodu shivered. She glared at me again, so scary. Eunuch Zhang carefully presented some memorials. Your Majesty, there are urgent documents. She was not only well-behaved, but also very perceptive. So, she put the soup bowl aside and said, Father, you attend to your matters. I'll come see you tomorrow. Then she jumped down from the chair and waved, Goodbye, father. The emperor was a little surprised. What a well-behaved little thing. So she returned to her own chambers. By the time she arrived, it was already dark. She called out from the doorway, Nanny, I'm back. Nanny Shu opened her arms to greet her. My little princess is back. Nanny will take you inside. A gentle breeze rustled through the air. She looked up and saw familiar plumage. The bird flew straight into her arms. Oh, aren't you noble consort Shu's big bird? These words seemed to remind it of what had happened last time, and it looked a little aggrieved. She quickly comforted it. Good birdie, don't worry. Your feathers will grow back soon. Nanny Shu came over to take a look. Oh, isn't this noble consort Shu's bird? Little princess, should we let it go? Lest it cause trouble. Birdie, why don't you go home now? The bird shook its head. A voice came from behind. Oh, we found the noble consort's bird. It really is in the Palace of Tranquility. A palace maid stepped forward. Eighth princess, I am Xiao Chun from noble consort Shu's palace. The noble consort's bird went missing today, and someone said they saw it fly towards the Palace of Tranquility. I have been sent by the noble consort to bring the bird back. She stroked the bird. Look, your owner has come to get you. Go on. Even the bird seemed to like her and was reluctant to leave. So, she said, the bird won't listen to me. The palace maids approached. Xiao Chun put on a stern face and tried to appear authoritative. The noble consort also said that she took a great liking to the 8th princess today and has specifically instructed me to invite the princess over for a short stay. The 8th princess can even hold the noble consort's precious bird. Nanny Shu stood up. Our little princess is still young. Taking her there might trouble the noble consort. Moreover, our princess is delicate. Going out in the middle of the night, what if she catches a cold? This servant thanks the noble consort for her kindness. She knew very well that noble consort Shu was always narrow-minded. The last incident with the bird hadn't even been addressed, and now she wanted to torment their little princess. She absolutely couldn't let her succeed. The palace maids grew impatient. Nanny Shu, it's the noble consort who wants to see the little princess. We servants have no say in this. Nanny Shu still wanted to stall. Let's talk things over. Don't hurt the little princess. Before she could finish, she was pushed aside. Those servants, regardless of the consequences, were about to forcibly take her away. She had to play tough. Now, it wasn't a question of whether she wanted to go or not, but rather a matter of not disrespecting them. Come back tomorrow. What nonsense. I won't go. She recalled noble consort Shu's vicious glare, further solidifying her thoughts. That noble consort didn't like her. The way she looked at her was cold. One palace maid, feeling she couldn't handle it alone, called for help. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and grab her. Hearing this, the palace maid behind quickly put down her lantern to help. The two pushed Nanny Shu to the ground, trying to restrain her. She struggled. Let me go. Nanny Shu cried out desperately. Little princess, what should we do? Finally, in the silent depths of the night, she was dragged to Yuhua Palace. She spoke as usual. I've already returned the bird to you. If there's nothing else, I'll be going back. If you were that easy to deal with, pigs would fly. 8th princess, His Majesty is unwell. Please refrain from disturbing him in the future. She tried to explain, I'm visiting father to heal him. But they used it as an excuse to yell, you dare talk back. Then immediately ordered, someone lock this brat up. She turned and ran. You can't lock me up. I have to go see father tomorrow. They furiously shouted, are you all dead? Don't let her escape. Fortunately, her small size made it easy to slip through. Suddenly, she heard a voice, little one, quick to the right, to the left. She thought, could it be the heavens helping her? She was surprised herself. I actually dodged them. Having dodged that, she bumped into something else. Ouch! A vase shattered into pieces. The palace maids panicked. We're doomed. That was the Empress Dowager's favorite blue and white jade vase. She muttered to herself, can't worry about that now, run. She panicked. Forget it, run first. We'll deal with it later. So she ran, knocking things over as she went. Ah, the snowflake bow is broken too. Ah, the Empress Dowager's favorite gouging. I'm dead. The antique shelf. Noble consort Shu raged. Where are my guards? Seize that damn brat. The guards rushed out to block her. Stop. And so, she had nowhere to run. As a result, she was caught as expected. What terrible luck. She cried, I'm finished, this is the end. Noble consort Shu ordered, throw this brat into the woodshed. The woodshed door opened, and she was thrown in without mercy. Ooh, her eyes stared blankly outwards as the last sliver of hope was shut away. She pounded on the door, desperately shouting, let me out. Let me out. But who would let her out? She sat down and wept loudly. Let me out. Her savior, the heavens, didn't appear, but the bird did. It chirped a few times, and then a voice said, hey, little one, don't be afraid. I'm here with you. She wiped away her tears, trying to focus. Big bird, are you talking to me? It hummed in agreement, and then explained, actually, I'm a lovesick bird spirit from Spirit Mountain, so I can hear you. Were you the one who told me to run to the right to avoid those people trying to catch me? The big bird took credit. It was me, it was me. No wonder your aura is different from others. It hummed in agreement, then explained, actually, I'm a lovesick bird spirit from Spirit Mountain, so I can hear you. Were you the one who told me to run, right to dodge those who were trying to catch me just now? The big bird proudly claimed, it was me, it was me. No wonder your aura feels different. She gently stroked it. I'm foamed out and now. Big bird, do you have a name? The bird replied happily, not yet. Why don't you give me one? You're so cute, you'll definitely give me a good name. Hearing this, she pondered seriously. A formal name or a nickname. It has to be representative. Her idea was unexpectedly bold. Your bottom glows so brightly. How about I call you Little Bright? The bird instantly regretted every word it had ever spoken. I was wrong. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And so, in that creaky woodshed that night, she hugged the bird, shivering uncontrollably. Little Bright, I'm I'm so cold. Will I freeze to death here tonight? The thought brought tears to her eyes. If I die, father won't survive either. What should I do? She slumped down, defeated, trying to think of a solution. Suddenly, she cried out, "Ouch! What did I bump into?" She pulled out an object, a fire starter. Heaven never seals off all exits. And just like that, a tiny light flickered in the dark room. She turned her head. Little bright, it's not cold anymore. Looking at the moonlight through the window lattice, she felt a bit gloomy. There's a saying in the mortal world, heaven will assign great responsibility to such a person. It must first test their resolve. I've been suffering since the day I was born. Even so, she made up her mind. So, I must have a great mission, and that is to save father. I'm destined for great things anyway, so it's a little hardship now. The flames danced merrily. The little one was ready for bed, and she let out a big yawn. She turned to the bird. Is little bright asleep? I'm sleepy too. As she spoke, she drifted off. Let's sleep for a bit. We still have to figure out how to get out of here. A gust of wind blew through, and the flames flickered. She was sleeping on a pile of dry grass, which was highly flammable. And just like that, her bed caught fire. Completely unaware that she was about to become a roasted piglet, she continued snoring and mumbling in her sleep. So warm. Screams came from outside. The woodshed is on fire. Put out the fire. Little Bright was awakened by the commotion and cried out, yelling, "Little one, wake up, fire!" She opened her eyes groggily, unsure of what was happening. She gasped, and by the time she realized what was going on, the fire was already raging. The flames spread, growing stronger and stronger. She quickly took off her cloak, her heart pounding with panic. What to do? Water puts out fire, but there's no water here. Without hesitation, she threw the cloak over Little Bright and yelled, "Help! Fire!" The palace maids finally rushed in with basins of water. "Eighth princess." Then everyone frantically began to put out the fire. She spoke, her eyes filled with remorse. "I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose." A palace maid hurried over to help her. "Oh my little ancestor, please come out quickly." She tried to explain. I am sorry. I wasn't playing with fire on purpose. I was just cold, and I want to start a fire." Just then, noble consort Shu rushed out like a madwoman, yelling, "It's that wretched girl causing trouble again." She was terrified. If the fire spread to the neighboring palaces, the emperor would be furious. Honestly, just kidnapping Feng Daodu here was enough for the emperor to send her home to grow vegetables and raise fish. Still fuming, she cursed, "You useless bunch. You can't even watch a child." The eighth princess stepped forward, taking responsibility. "It's not their fault. It was an accident." This enraged noble consort Shu even more. "You wretched girl. You dare to start a fire." The eighth princess retorted, "I didn't. The bad people locked me in the woodshed. There was no heater, no bed for me to sleep in. I was cold, so I started a fire." Noble consort Shu was fuming. You dare talk back to me." She tried to calm herself, thinking, "No, I'm a noble consort. Arguing with a brat would be a laughingstock. But I can't let this little one off easy either." So noble consort Shu ordered, "Take this brat to another room." The eighth princess added a suggestion. "I want a heater. I want a big bed." Noble consort Shu gave her a disgusted look. "Fine, I'll have them prepared for you." After the eighth princess was taken away by the palace maids, noble consort Shu turned to her trusted maid. "Don't give that brat anything to eat. Let her starve for a few meals." She thought to herself that she wasn't a kind-hearted person and wouldn't let this little one off easy. She muttered hatefully, "You little wretch, not only did you break my things, but you also dared to start a fire. I'll teach you a lesson." This scene is so familiar. I've seen it before. Her spirits lifted immediately. "Little Bright, we finally have a bed and blankets." The palace maid beside her said worriedly, "Princess, please rest early. The noble consort only instructed me to take this bird back." Even the palace maid felt sorry for her. This eighth princess was so pitiful, locked up here, only able to talk to a bird. "But the noble consort wants me to take the bird away." Hearing that someone was going to take him away, Little Bright immediately flew up and chirped disdainfully from above. "Catch me if you can." She told the truth. Little Bright says he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay with me. The palace maid looked doubtful. "Eighth princess, you mustn't let the noble consort hear that. It will anger her. Children shouldn't lie. How do you know what the bird is thinking?" The palace maid was actually quite charmed, thinking to herself, "Oh my, The little princess is so adorable. The eighth princess realized she had said too much, thinking, that's right, if others knew I could understand Little Bright, they would definitely suspect I'm a monster. And then they'd capture me. She quickly nodded. I can't lie. I don't know what Little Bright is thinking. The palace maid seemed satisfied. You must be very scared here alone. I'll let the bird stay with you. The palace maid was clearly on her side. I'll tell the noble consort. The bird flew away. I'd say I didn't catch it. The palace maid took good care of her, advising, rest well, and don't provoke her highness again. She obediently replied, okay, palace maid's sister. You're so nice. Good people will be rewarded. Seeing the palace maid leave, little Liang flew down. Little one, you're something else. I've never seen her highness treat someone she hates like this. Treat someone she hates so well. She was puzzled. Why does she hate me? Is it because I offended her? Little Liang explained. Consort Shu Huang Chi Fei hates it most when others are better than her. She gave birth to the second prince, but his majesty doesn't even glance at him, yet he favors you, so she's furious. Hearing this, her head spun. She retorted, forget it, let her be. She hates me. I hate her too. She was full of fighting spirit. I, Feng Dao Dao, am also a little being with backbone. Let's see who can be more ruthless. Give this little girl a round of applause. Suddenly, they both heard crying. Wah, woo. The two looked at each other in surprise. Someone's crying. She put her ear to the wall, listening to the cries coming from next door. Am I hearing things? A voice came from next door. Get away. Don't come over here. She felt something was wrong and asked, hey, who's next door? Are you also locked up by Consort Shu? She was met with silence. She was a little worried. Hey, are you okay? Why aren't you talking? Little Liang pondered. Next door is the second prince's room. Isn't he locked up by Consort Shu? She was stunned. Second prince. Don't know him. Little Liang was speechless. Born to Consort Shu, His Majesty's son, your second elder brother. All right. She was about to say something when the shouts came again from next door. Don't come over here. She soothed. Okay, little brother, don't be afraid. She guessed. This little brother's voice sounds older than mine. Why does he sound so scared? It turned out that in the next room was the older brother she had helped a few days ago. He was trembling with fear. Get away. Don't come over here. Oh my God. In front of him, a large group of snakes were wriggling towards him, extremely frightening. She asked, hey, little cutie inside, it's Feng Dao Dao. Are you locked up too? He tried to recall. Feng Dao Dao. That spoiled eighth princess. The image of her bright smile surfaced in his mind. How could you be locked up? Forget it. I should worry about myself first. The snakes flicked their tongues frantically in those eyes. Honestly, it was impressive he hadn't fainted from fright. Something's not right. He backed away in fear. Get away. She became more worried in her own room. Little brother, are you all right? Tears were welling up in his eyes from fear. People are truly wicked. He grabbed a wooden plank and slammed it hard against the snake. Get out. The snake screamed and actually died. He continued to attack the other snakes. The scene was a bit bloody. He unleashed an ultimate flying kick, sending a snake flying. Go away. She turned to Little Liang. He must be terrified right now, right? She asked Little Liang, is there any way for me to go next door and see him? Listen, he's almost crying. No, he's already crying. We just heard it. Thinking of this, she became even more anxious. Oh, what should I do? On one side was incessant crying. On the other, an effort to think calmly. Little Liang keenly noticed something. I found it. Look, the roofs of the two rooms are connected. They're joined. If you climb up, you can see next door. But it doesn't say how to climb up. She was helpless. It's so high, boo-hoo. How can I climb up? I wish I had wings. There should only be one silly one between them. But it seemed that after spending so much time with her, Little Liang had become silly too. All right, I have wings and can fly, but you can't. Or should I return to my true form and carry you up? This silly idea was immediately rejected. No, if I return to my original form, it'll cause too much commotion, and I won't be able to stay in the mortal realm so easily anymore. Suddenly, she heard the sound of wind coming from somewhere. She turned around. Wind. She jumped off the bed and quickly put on her shoes. She looked around, trying to figure out where the wind was coming from. Why is there wind under the bed? This time, she made another discovery. As she expected, there really was a secret passage here. She crawled in. Little Liang, there's a hole here. Let's go through here. She went over and moved the decaying wooden planks. Piece by piece, after removing them all, a hole appeared. She was overjoyed. Great. Luckily, I'm thin enough to squeeze through. But I don't understand, why does this little bird still need me to give it a push? She added squeeze through. You have to squeeze through. As she expected, it really led to the next room. She was thrilled and crawled through. Wonderful. The snakes continued to crawl towards him. After crawling out from under the bed, she froze like a startled fawn. Why is this room so dark? Ugh, I have a phobia of snakes. Seeing these things makes my scalp tingle. Please don't be so realistic. Okay. He anxiously shouted, "Little dumpling, watch out for the snakes. Come back quickly. Find something to shield yourself." He was truly terrified. This is bad. Little dumpling will definitely be scared if she hears him. He turned to look. Snakes. She was surrounded by snakes. He was also afraid, but he was more afraid that something would happen to Little Dumpling. So he jumped off the bed too. He was determined not to let the snakes hurt her. But who could have imagined she simply waved her hand and shouted, "Snakes, snakes, can you move aside, please?" He was utterly dumbfounded. Doesn't Little Dumpling know that snakes bite? He hurriedly stepped forward to stop her. "Little Dumpling, come here quickly. Snakes will bite you." Before he could finish his words, he saw a scene that shocked him. My God, the snakes actually turned around and ran. He rubbed his eyes several times. Am I seeing things? His eyes widened, and he looked again. It seemed to be real. At this moment, he seriously doubted his own sanity. He lowered his head, finally able to relax a little. But he relaxed too much, and his body swayed. Losing his balance, he fell forward, dropping the wooden plank he was holding. With quick reflexes, she caught him. "Older brother, don't be afraid, don't be afraid." Only then did she truly notice the person she was holding. Then she hugged him tightly. "Older brother, it's you." "Oh wait, I just realized the door to the next room is locked too." Seeing him again, she was overjoyed. "Older brother, do you remember me? We met in the Imperial Garden." He shyly averted his gaze. I remember." Looking at him, she felt sorry for him. Older brother was bullied before, and now he's locked up just like me. Why are there so many snakes in this room? It's even worse than mine. She patted him comfortingly and boasted a little, "Older brother, don't be afraid. I've chased all the snakes away." So there was a reason why Little Dumpling wasn't afraid of snakes. She remembered that when she was on Mount Qingxin, that big, long white snake spirit was her good friend, so she wasn't afraid of snakes. Hearing her say this, his face flushed a little embarrassed. I'm not afraid either. But in his heart, he thought, this child knows there's snakes, yet she's not afraid at all. Compared to her, I'm so embarrassing. Suddenly, she turned to the snakes and commanded domineeringly, "All of you get out. From now on, you're not allowed to scare older brother, and you're not allowed to bite him, or I'll flatten you." And guess what? The snakes actually left. I've never seen anything like it. He was stunned. This works too. It seems anything can happen in life. She giggled, "Older brother, don't be afraid. The snakes won't come back." She keenly noticed his injuries. Older brother's injuries are worse than before, and he looks very tired. Why is there such hatred in his eyes? Sigh, if I scared people like that, everyone would hate me too. She asked, "Older brother, why are you locked up here?" She thought, I'll use my spiritual power to heal older brother. So she rushed over, wanting to use her spiritual power to heal him. He coldly pushed her away again, turning away indifferently. Humph. In the eyes of the great Jin royal family, this young master is of low status. Anyone can lock me up for no reason. He closed his eyes, resigned to his fate. Although this little dumpling is cute, she is ultimately a member of the royal family. Birds of a feather flock together. She wilted. Why is older brother's gaze so scary? It's like he hates me, but I haven't done anything to him. Why does he hate me? The door to this room isn't closed properly, and a cold wind is blowing in. She hugged her small body tightly. So cold. There are no lamps, no heater, not even a blanket. Is this place meant to freeze people to death? She walked over and grabbed his arm, suggesting, "Older brother, my room is warmer. Let's go there." Unexpectedly, he shook off her hand. No. Caught off guard, she cried out, "Ouch." She pouted and asked again, "Why did you push me?" He thought, filled with resentment. I was originally the crown prince of the great Ming kingdom, but because my country is weak, I was sent here as a hostage. I was sent here when I was very young. I refused to flatter the princes of Great Jin, which displeased them, and they often took pleasure in bullying me. They wanted to see me beg for mercy on my knees, but I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. I hate every single member of the great Jin royal family, especially that emperor who wages wars everywhere and treats human life like grass. She finally spoke, pulling him back to reality. "Older brother, come with me. You'll freeze to death here." He then noticed that she had grabbed his hand and was pleading, "Older brother." He frowned and retorted, "Wouldn't this young master freezing to death be exactly what you all want to see?" He constantly reminded himself that he couldn't soften just because she was cute. She was a member of the great Jin royal family. Secretly circulating her spiritual energy, she retorted, "How could I bear to watch you freeze to death, older brother?" This time he seemed even more resolute, pushing her hand away. "Get lost." She stumbled, landing on her bottom with a small ouch. The fall was rather hard, and the pain brought tears to her eyes. "Wow, that hurts." He then realized he had gone too far and quickly reached out to help her. "Are you all right?" He felt a little guilty. "Ow, is this little dumpling so light? Aren't all children supposed to be chubby? How is she so thin?" He blurted out, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." She shivered. "Older brother, can we go to the next room? It's so cold here." He hesitated. This little thing, she really knows how to exploit my weaknesses." I knew you couldn't stand to see me cry." Older brother isn't saying anything, so that means he agrees. So she quickly wiped her tears, her face immediately breaking into a smile. She turned and pointed to the hole. "Older brother, let's go through this hole." What followed was older brother's internal struggle. He recalled the past, when the dignified crown prince of Great Ming, even as a hostage in Great Jin, enduring bullying and beatings from the princes of Great Jin, had never crawled through a dog hole. He gritted his teeth. Now he's actually supposed to crawl through a dog hole, and with a little girl. So he pushed her forward. "You go." "I'm not going." His attitude was firm. "No, I can't crawl through that." She grabbed his hand, using the same trick again. "But older brother, I'll be scared by myself next door." Was this little girl an actress in her past life? She cried on cue, tears already streaming down her face. Large teardrops continuously landed on the back of his hand. In the end, he couldn't resist this honey trap. Little Dumpling's tears are so hot. The cold wind from outside continuously blew in through the hole, and older brother was momentarily speechless. She was quick to react, speaking first. "Older brother, come with me. I'm afraid of the dark, afraid of big snakes, afraid of rats, afraid of the cold." In short, she was super scared. He had no choice but to compromise. "All right, I don't know what's wrong with me. I know this little dumpling is talking nonsense, but I just can't refuse her." How does this little dumpling manage to keep her tears welling up in her eyelashes without them falling? That's quite a skill. He wanted to reach out and wipe them away, but he was worried his hands were too dirty and would smudge her little face. Seeing his hesitation, little dumpling knew it was time to take the initiative. So she took his hand and pressed it against her cheek, continuously calling out, "Older brother, older brother." He froze. Since arriving here, no one had ever been this close to him. He frowned. Who knows if she's playing some kind of trick? Those princes were also polite at first, and then they found ways to bully him. They're siblings, so naturally, they're all the same. She called him again. older brother, hurry up, it's so warm in my room." Her eyes sparkled with anticipation. Humanity trumps the law, and he had no choice but to follow her. "All right." As soon as they entered the room, she said to Little Liang, "I brought older brother back." Little Liang flew around the room as if he had found a treasure. "My goodness, little dumpling is amazing." This hostage from Great Ming, a tough nut to crack, actually listened to little dumpling. He kept staring at the bird that was suddenly flying around like crazy. Little dumpling, because of her small stature, was struggling to climb onto the bed. "Older brother, come sleep on the bed with me. It's so warm." Seeing her struggle, he couldn't bear to watch and gently lifted her up, causing her to let out a small gasp of woe. Before he placed her securely on the bed, she smiled, her eyes curving. "Thank you, older brother." Then she patted the spot next to her. "Come on up, let's lie down together." Her reasoning was simple. More people would be warmer. She always had a way of making him feel awkward. "No, I'll just sit over there." It wasn't like he had to lie down anyway, so he sat by the brazier, a look of contentment on his face. Finally warm again. Earlier, next to her, he felt like he was turning into a block of ice. She suddenly changed the subject. "Hey, older brother, what's your name?" He replied, "My name is Qiqi." She then said, "Then I'll call you Yumi from now on, okay? You can call me Phone Dao Dao." She noticed the wounds on his face. Yumi has so many injuries. She wanted to heal him, so she got down from the bed to treat his wounds. But she seemed to have forgotten about her short legs, and he rushed over in alarm. "Careful." There was no heroic rescue scene, only her clinging tightly to the bedsheet like a little monkey, letting out a long sigh of relief. "Phew, that scared me." She, in turn, had scared him quite a bit. "You scared me too." Then she ran over to him again. "Yumi, let me hug you, and your wounds won't hurt anymore." She stood on tiptoe. "Let me blow on it for you." He looked pensive. "When I was away from my mother and I got hurt, she would do this too." He smiled slightly. Little dumpling is blowing on my wounds with her childish breath. She really is a sweet little thing. He had resigned himself to letting her do as she pleased. Little dumplings smelled of sweet milk. As she blew on my wounds, they seemed to hurt less. Just as he was drifting in this pleasant sensation, he realized something. Wait, they really don't hurt as much. She then asked, Yumi, does it still hurt? I'm getting a little tired. Seeing her ask this, he froze. They really didn't hurt anymore. He ran to find a nearby mirror. It had definitely hurt before. How could this be? He touched the wounds, shocked and confused. Hey, the wounds are still there, but they don't hurt at all. She then explained, Yumi, bruises will fade slowly. My healing power can only make your wounds stop hurting and heal a little faster, but it can't completely heal you instantly. He was surprised. Healing power. She replied, yeah, I'm super powerful. She added, as long as you hug me, your sickness will get better quickly and your wounds will heal quickly too. From now on, Yumi, if you get hurt or sick, you can come to me and I can heal you. She spoke so sincerely, but he dismissed it as nonsense. Seeing his skeptical expression, she asked, Yumi, do you believe what I'm saying? He didn't believe her, but he nodded vigorously anyway, thinking, forget it. If I say I don't believe her, she'll probably be disappointed. She actually believed him and hugged him. Yumi is the best. Then she thought of her father, the emperor. If only father could believe me too. The slightly tender moment was broken by a rumbling sound. She asked, Yumi, are you hungry? He turned his face away awkwardly. I haven't eaten anything all day. She wasn't much better off. I'm hungry too. Little Liang listened to their conversation for a while. Are you hungry? Should I find some food for you? She immediately agreed. Okay, find a lot. I want to eat meat. His face froze. He could only hear the bird chirping, which translated to, wait, just wait. I'll go find some meat for you. She cheered, Yumi, wait a minute. Little Liang went to find food. How many years have I lived to see something like this for the first time? She can actually talk to birds, and the bird can find food. Oh well, as long as she's happy. She stared at him intently. Yumi is so handsome, and he's always being bullied. I must be good to Yumi. She reached out and took his arm. I'll share some of my spiritual power with him, so he won't be so hungry and cold. He finally noticed her. What was with that look in her eyes? Her eyes were filled with worry for him. But no, he thought it was too strange. All the suffering and torment I endured in the great Jin dynasty were thanks to her family, her father, her brothers. He frowned. She actually pitied me. So he coldly shook off her hand. This was simply too ironic. He immediately became annoyed. Why are you so close? Stay away from me. Don't touch me. She tried to explain. Yumi, sit closer. Won't you feel warmer? I'm cold. He tried to shake her off. Get off. But she clung to him tightly. No. Just then, some fish and branches appeared at their feet. Raising this bird was worth it after all. It's practically like a nanny. I found food. I caught it from the lake in the Imperial Garden. She held the fish, looking bewildered. Little Liang, I'm not a cat. I don't eat raw fish. Little Liang whispered, Hey, can that guy understand what you're saying? What are you muttering about? I didn't tell you to eat it raw. Isn't there a handy person right here? Little Liang kept pointing at him. Didn't I bring back firewood to burn? There's fire here. Make him grill the fish. He thought he was hallucinating. This bird seemed to be giving him orders. She thought Little Liang had a point, so she went over to him. Yumi, I want to eat grilled fish. I've never had grilled fish before. Why are you still shy? Get down first. I'll start the fire. To be so cheerful while locked up, she lay on the bed leisurely. Yumi can even grill fish. So amazing. He continued, I've been in Great Jin for 5 years. I've gone from a pampered prince who couldn't do anything to a forced cook, so I wouldn't starve to death. He looked at the grilling fish. I learned how to cook this simple grilled fish 2 years ago. She looked at him admiringly. Wow, Yumi is so amazing. The fish is done. He looked at her, thinking, in all these years, the only person who has looked at me with such adoration is this little dumpling. He handed her the fish. Here. She was about to take a big bite without thinking, but he stopped her. Careful. Huh. So he took extra care of her. Let me. He fed her a piece of the delicious fish, which she ate with relish, praising, so yummy. He also wanted to try the grilled fish. She handed it back to him. Yumi, have some too. He hesitated. It had been a long time since anyone had shown him such care. She yawned repeatedly. Yumi, I'm full. Let's go to sleep after you finish. I still need to go find my father. Yumi's inner thoughts. After waking up, he suddenly jolted awake. Her father, Feng Yalan. How could I forget? She's the daughter of my enemy. Just because of her small act of kindness. He abruptly stood up. I'm not eating. I'm going to sleep. Don't worry about me. She watched him walk away, thinking, Yumi is unhappy again. Is he sleepy too? But it's warmer here. She called out after him, Yumi, the grilled fish is here. Come and eat if you get hungry. I'm going to sleep now. Then she fell into a deep sleep all the way until the next morning. She rubbed her eyes. It's daybreak. Little Liang, good morning, just woke up. She looked to the side. Yumi didn't eat anything last night. He just sat there on the bed. Suddenly, he heard her voice, thinking, who else could it be? Little dumpling, Yumi, you're awake. She walked over carrying a grilled fish. I'm hungry, and you must be too. Let's eat the grilled fish together. She offered the fish to him with a hint of anticipation. Yumi, here you go. He was a little flustered, thinking, why is she here again? He looked at the fish in front of him, his heart in turmoil. She finally spoke, Yumi, I'm hungry. I want to eat grilled fish. He picked up yesterday's fish. This fish is cold. It needs to be grilled again. She became excited. Then let's go to where we grilled the fish. He said to himself, fine, I'll grill fish for her, and then I won't bother anymore. Just this once. So, in the end, he was still dragged by her to grill fish. She kept praising him. Yumi is the best. The two were happily eating when a voice came from outside. How is that little wretch? Open the door for this consort. Servant, your highness, consort Shu. Then consort Shu stormed in, shouting angrily, you little thing, what are you doing again? Both of them were startled when she entered. Consort Shu, my, how lively it is here. To consort Shu's surprise, Prince Yumi, why are you here? He stepped forward, shielding little dumpling behind him, and replied, the second prince locked me in here. Consort Shu gave an awkward laugh. That child is always so mischievous. Quickly take Prince Yumi back. He looked back at little dumpling, thinking, if I leave, what will happen to little dumpling? Consort Shu is so vicious. Little dumpling is no match for her. Little dumpling, however, didn't think so. Yumi, we could go now. Consort Shu froze. Wait, this consort only said Prince Yumi could go back. Not you. She actually snapped at child. How is there grilled fish here? Where did the grilled fish come from? Who gave it to her? She suddenly flew into a rage. This consort wanted to starve that little wretch for a few meals, yet someone dared to defy this consort's orders and give her food. The servants knelt down. Your servant wouldn't dare. This servant wouldn't dare. Little dumpling stepped forward to protect them. This has nothing to do with anyone. This fish fell from the sky. Consort Shu. Does this consort look like I would believe the nonsense of a little brat like you? Someone slapped this little wretch's mouth. Hit her hard until she tells the truth. He immediately stepped forward to protect her. I gave it to her. Are you going to hit me too? Consort Shu. Interesting. This is a family matter of our great Jean. It would be best if Prince Yumi didn't interfere. Then she yelled, someone, take Prince Yumi away. Little dumpling wanted to chase after him. Little dumpling, Yumi. He also didn't want to leave. Yumi, little dumpling. She felt helpless, thinking, Yumi, why does this feel like a farewell across 1,000 mountains and rivers? Then, the old hag slapped her. She covered her red and swollen cheek, telling herself not to cry in front of bad people. Consort Shu was about to hit her again. It's your good fortune to be hit by this consort personally. But she didn't expect retribution to come so quickly. Sharp claws tore through her skin. The brave little Liang rushed out to protect little dumpling. Who gave you permission to bully my baby? Consort Shu was furious. Are you all dead? Catch that beast for me. Kill it. The servants replied, yes. Little dumpling was very worried. Little Liang. Little dumpling to little Liang, run. So little Liang quickly flew away, not forgetting to comfort its baby. Don't panic, baby. I'll go find someone to save you. This enraged consort Shu even more. Lock that wretch up again. If anyone dares to let her out, they can come see this consort themselves. What are you still standing around for? Hurry up and bandage this consort. The door slammed shut with a bang. She felt like her whole world had collapsed. First, Yumi was taken away. Then little Liang disappeared, and she didn't know how long she would be locked up here. How could she go see her father like this? Meanwhile, with his majesty, he was drowning in a mountain of memorials. Eunuch Zhang shuffled forward. Your majesty, you really should rest. You've been up all night, and your health is still frail. His majesty finally put down his brush, stood up, and rubbed his temples. All right, I've finally finished reviewing these memorials. Suddenly, his majesty's face turned pale as a sheet, his body swayed, and he collapsed. Eunuch Zhang was shocked. Your majesty. His majesty's mind conjured her image. She was calling him father. At this moment, his longing for her was overwhelming. Little rascal. Before he could finish, he fainted at his desk. Eunuch Zhang panicked completely. Quickly, summoned the imperial physician. His majesty has fainted. Little Liang had already flown to His Majesty's side. Just then, the Empress Dowager arrived. The Empress Dowager was deeply worried. What happened? His Majesty hasn't fainted these past few days. Why has he collapsed again? Little Liang assessed the situation, thinking, oh no, I wanted His Majesty to save that little girl, but this old emperor couldn't even save himself, let alone her. It seems I can only wait and see. Little girl, you have to hold on. Meanwhile, in the place where she was confined, there wasn't a single ray of light. She looked around, trying to find a way out. There isn't even a crack in this window. There's no way to escape. Her eyelids began to twitch uncontrollably. She remembered what the little fox on Qingling Mountain had said a twitching eyelid meant. Something bad was about to happen. Could something have happened to Father? The more she thought about it, the more panicked she became. If Father is sick, only my spiritual power can save him, but I'm still locked up here. What should I do? She could only pound on the door and shout, let me out. I need to see Father. I need to save him. The servant's tone was clearly impatient. Eighth Princess, please stop making a fuss. Just wait patiently, all right. She listened through the crack in the door to the servant's words. If Consort Shu's anger subsided, she wouldn't be locked up anymore. She quickly replied, okay, I'll be good. Then, older brother, you must tell Consort Shu that I've been very good and haven't caused any trouble, all right. The servant replied, understood, then slammed the door shut with a bang. The wind howled throughout the night. She sat there, looking out with anticipation. Didn't they say they would let me out if I was good? It's already dark, and I've been so good. Why haven't they let me out yet? I want to see Father. I'm so hungry. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside. Move aside. This prince's jade pendant fell in there. This prince needs to go in and find it. Your Highness, you can go in and look, but you can't stay too long. If Her Highness finds out we let you in, we won't be able to bear the consequences. She stood up, wondering if she was hallucinating. Am I hallucinating from hunger? Why do I hear Yumi Gij's voice? It really was Prince Yumi who entered, his face bearing visible injuries. Little dumpling. She was overjoyed. Yumi Gij, it's so good to see you. So she wasn't dreaming. It really was Yumi Gij, not a hallucination. He gently touched her swollen cheek. What happened? He was shocked. Did Consort Shu do this to you? She sobbed softly. Woo. It hurts. Yumi Gij, don't touch my face. It hurts when you touch it. Yumi's heart burned with rage. To hit such a small child. Everyone in this palace is heartless. And bloodsuckers. She pleaded with him. Yumi Gij, I want to get out. Can you help me? Yumi Gij, do you have any news about my father? Father is not well. He needs me by his side, or he will die. Yumi gritted his teeth. Feng Yilan again. It would be better if he were dead. Suddenly, she swayed. Yumi Gij, I'm so hungry. I want to eat the baked cakes you make. She gradually lost consciousness, murmuring, hungry. He picked her up, calling out repeatedly, little dumpling, little dumpling. She didn't know how long she had been unconscious. When she opened her eyes, she found herself lying on a bed. Where is this? He answered, sitting beside her. This is where I live, Chang'an Palace. She sat up abruptly. I'm out. He then explained, remember that dog hole? I carried you through it to another room. There were no guards there, so I broke down the door and brought you out. She jumped up and hugged him. Yumi Gij, you're the best. Cold on the outside, warm on the inside, only kind to me. Hugging him, she noticed the wound on his arm. Ah, Yumi Gij, how did you get hurt? Did someone bully you? It made me so angry. It's all thanks to my dear older brothers. Her eyes began to water. I'm sorry. Yumi Gij, I'll protect you from now on. I will never let anyone bully you again. He was stunned. Little dumpling, you're so easily locked up yourself, and you still want to protect me. She channeled her spiritual power to heal him. Yumi Gij, hug, and the wound won't hurt anymore. This time, he completely surrendered. I really can't win against you, little dumpling. He finally responded. Little dumpling's hugs are so soft and warm. It really feels like the wound doesn't hurt as much. Just as the atmosphere between them was perfect, her stomach growled loudly, ruining the moment. He released her. I'll go find you something to eat. Stay here, be quiet, and don't let anyone find you. She obediently responded with an Elsewhere, palace servants gossip. His Majesty has been unconscious for a day. Healers from the divine temple have all been summoned, but this servant fears the worst for His Majesty. Hearing this, her hunger vanished, replaced by worry. Father, without a second thought, she ran out to find him. Prince Yumi, I'm sorry, I can't wait here. If I don't go save Father, it will be too late. Inside the Hall of the Four Gods, the Emperor lay on his bed, the Empress Dowager watching over him. Her face darkened, a murderous aura emanating from her. Didn't I tell you to bring the 8th princess here? Where is she? A servant reported, Your Majesty Empress Dowager. This servant went to the Yan Cheng palace, and Nanny Shu said Consort Shu had taken the 8th princess. But we searched Consort Shu's palace thoroughly and couldn't find a trace of the 8th princess. She roared, Keep searching. How can a child vanish into thin air? Turn the entire palace upside down if you have to, but find the 8th princess for me. Go quickly. Her head throbbed as she recalled the imperial physician's words. Your Majesty Empress Dowager, His Majesty's condition is critical. He is in grave danger. She felt as if she were sitting on pins and needles. Now, only that child's blood can be tried. Eunuch Zhang looked at the Empress Dowager, understanding her intent. Your Majesty Empress Dowager, are you thinking of using the 8th princess's blood? What can we do? Just then, a clear voice came from outside the hall. Father, I'm here to save you. Eunuch Zhang immediately recognized the voice. It's the 8th princess. She walked into the inner hall and saw her father lying motionless on the bed. Seeing him like this, she was deeply worried. Father, little Liang, outside the hall, breathed a sigh of relief. Baby escaped. That's wonderful. She stepped forward and felt her father's pulse. Why is father's pulse so weak? She began to sob beside him. Wah, father, don't die. I don't want you to die. Eunuch Zhang approached. 8th princess, how did you come here alone? Seeing her state, Eunuch Zhang took out a handkerchief and wiped her tears. She calmed down slightly and pleaded, Eunuch Zhang, quick, bring a knife. I need to give my blood to father. Even she thought this way, so the Empress Dowager's intentions were even clearer. Eunuch Zhang was shocked. 8th princess? Absolutely not. You are a precious princess. Hearing this, the Empress Dowager stepped forward and asked, Do you truly want to give your blood to save your father? Her eyes were resolute. Yes, as long as father drinks my blood, he will wake up. That night must have been very long. A palace maid entered, holding a sharp blade and a jade bowl. They were actually going through with it. She mustered her courage, facing her fear, pretending to be strong, but her heart was truly powerful. Let's do it. I'm not afraid of the pain. She trembled all over, murmuring, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I need to save father. The scene was heartbreaking. Eunuch Zhang said, Your Majesty Empress Dowager, are you really going to take the 8th princess's blood? His Majesty decreed that this matter should never be mentioned again. Hearing these words at this critical moment, she scolded sharply, Impudent slave. How dare you question me? Do you want His Majesty to never wake up? Eunuch Zhang hurriedly replied, This servant wouldn't dare. She ordered, Let the bloodletting begin. She suddenly spoke. Wait. The Empress Dowager's face darkened. Have you changed your mind? She waved her hands repeatedly. No. I want to hug father. That way I won't be afraid. Okay. She desperately tried to think of a way. I have to give my blood to father and heal him with my spiritual power at the same time. The Empress Dowager agreed. All right. Eunuch Zhang carried her up. Eunuch Zhang obeyed. Yes, Your Majesty. So, Eunuch Zhang carried her onto the dragon bed. She circulated her spiritual power and extended a hand. I'm ready. The palace maid stepped forward and gently made a cut on her delicate wrist. She told herself firmly, I can't back down. I must save father. Just like that, the first drop of blood fell into the bowl. She let her blood flow, chanting silently, For father, it doesn't hurt, doesn't hurt. Eunuch Zhang was horrified. At this rate, the 8th princess would bleed to death. He urgently addressed the Empress Dowager. Your Majesty, this should be enough. She said enough. She was trembling like a leaf. Eunuch Zhang helped the emperor drink the blood. Just as she said, the emperor woke up immediately after drinking it. Everyone was overjoyed. He's awake. His Majesty is awake. She was ecstatic. Father, you're finally awake. I knew I could save you. Before she could finish, she collapsed unconscious with a thud. The emperor hurriedly took her into his arms. Dao. But before he could finish, he noticed something strange. Why is there such a strong smell of blood in my mouth? The Empress Dowager beamed. Your Majesty, you're finally awake. The emperor barely acknowledged her, his gaze fixed on the blood-stained blade. His brow furrowed, then understanding dawned. He examined her arm. He turned to the Empress Dowager, demanding, You used this child's blood for me. The Empress Dowager attempted to explain, Your Majesty, the situation was dire. I merely wished to try the method the temple healer spoke of. The emperor was unconvinced. Mother, I forbade the use of such unorthodox practices in the palace. Anger flashed in his eyes. From now on, confine yourself to your chambers, copying scriptures and chanting. Do not interfere in my affairs. The emperor then commanded, Escort the Empress Dowager back to her palace immediately. The Empress Dowager, recognizing his genuine anger, knew when to retreat. Then I shall take my leave. You and the 8th princess, rest well. That night, the bedchamber was brightly lit. Throughout the night, Eunuch Zhang reported, "Your Majesty, the 8th princess's wound has been dressed, and the imperial physician has examined her. You have just awakened. You should rest." The emperor waved him off, signaling him to withdraw. She was mumbling in her sleep, "Father, don't be afraid. I can save you." This surprised the emperor. She awoke. In a lavishly decorated room, the emperor spoke, "Little thing, even in your dreams, you worry about me. Is this the legendary, heartwarming little cotton jacket?" He gently pinched her cheek. Then, he suddenly noticed the redness and swelling on her cheek. His voice sharpened with anger. "Who did this? Who dared touch my little cotton jacket?" The emperor looked down at the swelling on her cheek. He turned sharply and demanded, "What is the meaning of this injury on the little thing's face? Was it the Empress Dowager who ordered it?" Eunuch Zhang hastily replied, "Your Majesty, the little princess arrived with the handprint already on her face. This servant was as worried as Your Majesty. The little princess was previously taken away by consort Shu. It is likely related to her. However, it is best to wait until the little princess awakens to inquire. That woman is highly suspicious." That familiar sound, whose stomach was rumbling. Another stomach grumbled in response, saving the emperor from further questioning. Eunuch Zhang chuckled from the side. "Your Majesty and the little princess share such a deep bond. Even your stomachs rumble in unison. This old servant will make the arrangements." He instructed, "Prepare plenty of dishes the child enjoys, and ensure a blood-replenishing soup is made for the little thing." At the mention of eat, her mind immediately went to chicken feet. "I want to eat. I'm so hungry." Even the emperor was amused by her adorable manner. This little thing, despite being unconscious for so long, seemed more energetic than ever after waking up, clinging to the emperor and refusing to let go. He sighed in resignation. "Very well, since the little thing insists on being held, I shall hold her for now." Eunuch Zhang busied himself preparing their meal. Her nose was keen. She woke up as soon as she smelled the food, the aroma of meat. Her eyes lit up, and she practically drooled. "Your Majesty," the emperor asked gently, "are you hungry?" She exclaimed excitedly, "Father," and hugged his neck. "Father, are you feeling better? I just checked your pulse. It has returned to normal, and you are healthy." "That's wonderful." Seeing her like this, the emperor felt a pang of heartache. "Little thing, from now on, I will not allow anyone to take your blood." She pointed to the wound. "Father, it hurts so much." I almost cried, but I held back. The implication was clear. "Praise me. Praise me." The emperor held her hand. "It won't hurt anymore." She turned towards the table laden with food. "Father, I want to eat meat. I'm so hungry." Eunuch Zhang, standing nearby, could hardly believe his eyes. My goodness, the emperor was holding the little princess. Had his majesty recovered? The situation was this. The emperor was spoiling her rotten. So delicious. She scooped up the food and ate with relish. "It's so delicious." Finally, the emperor asked about her injury. "Little thing, does it hurt?" The memory brought a wave of very cheek. "It only hurts a little now. It hurt a lot when she hit me." The emperor immediately asked, "Who hit you? Weren't you with Nanny Shu?" She explained, "Consort Shu hit me. She locked me up and wouldn't give me any food. I snuck out so I could see you, father." "I'm so glad," muttering softly, "that older brother Shu saved me. Otherwise, father would have been in danger." Consort Shu is in big trouble this time." "That consort Shu, she's getting bolder and bolder." Suddenly, a palace maid approached and reported, "Your Majesty, Lady Qiqi, from the Empress Dowager's side, has arrived on her orders. The Empress Dowager has sent nourishing soup for you and the 8th princess to replenish your strength." Starving as she was, she still noticed that there was a portion for her. "Ah, there's some for me too." She wondered, doesn't the Empress Dowager hate me? Hearing that there was a portion for his little cotton jacket, the emperor immediately accepted. "Bring it here." The little glutton appeared, eating everything cleanly and praising while eating. Empress Dowager's soup is so delicious, fragrant, and sweet. His Majesty changed the subject. "Little rascal, did the Empress Dowager force you to give blood? Don't you hate her?" Qiqi clasped her hands together and said, "The Empress Dowager did it for your Majesty. Heavens bless us. 8th princess, please don't instigate anything." Little Dumpling frankly replied, "The Empress Dowager didn't force me. I offered to give blood to father." Qiqi's prayers seemed to be answered. The 8th princess is indeed a well-behaved and lovely child, without any scheming, unlike you despicable, scheming wretches. His Majesty stroked her head. little rascal, that wasn't good. Didn't I tell you not to give blood to me? She immediately said, I won't do it again. Father is better now. You don't need to drink blood anymore. I won't let anyone take my blood again. Because she knew the emperor was much better now, she could use her spiritual power to heal him in the future. Seeing his daughter so obedient, His Majesty said, Little rascal, you are so filial to me, I will grant you one request. What do you want me to do for you? She thought happily, Father, will you agree to any condition? His Majesty nodded. Of course, a monarch never goes back on their word. She was overjoyed. This was a rare opportunity to ask her father for something, and she had to seize it. With her belly full and round, she patted it while pondering, what should I ask father to promise me? I can eat my fill now, and I don't need to look for food anymore. She remembered older brother Shu. He had said, I'll go find you something to eat. She panicked. Oh no, I was so preoccupied with father that I forgot about older brother Shu. So she crawled back. He went to find food. If he comes back and can't find me, he'll be worried. I have to tell him I'm with father. She reached out her cute little hand and tugged at him. Father, can you help me find an older brother? Her eyes pleaded, if you find older brother Shu, I'll give him lots of delicious food. His Majesty became interested. Older brother. Which older brother? Like any father, his curiosity was piqued. Which little rascal has caught your attention? She explained, he rescued me from consort Shu, so I could come see you. I need to tell him I've seen you, so he won't look for me everywhere and worry about me. His Majesty comforted her, little rascal. Don't worry, I promised you, so we'll go after you've filled your tummy. Who could resist that look? Sigh, that look is simply irresistible. All right, I've already promised her anyway. Fathers always dote on their daughters. She was overjoyed. Great. Father is the best. He coaxed her, all right, eat quickly. Then he thought of his other children. Although I have other children, none of them are as close to me as she is. His Majesty remembered something and turned to eunuch Zhang. Go and summon Nanny Shu from Yan Cheng Palace and have her look after little rascal from now on. Eunuch Zhang acknowledged the order. Yes, Your Majesty. Seeing His Majesty's mood improve, Eunuch Zhang was happy for him. The emperor had been unconscious for a whole day, and everyone had been anxious. Who knew that as soon as the 8th princess arrived, everything would be all right? It seemed the 8th princess was truly His Majesty's lucky star. She finished the soup in one gulp and replied obediently, Palace maid sister, the soup Empress Dowager sent is so delicious. Seeing this, Qiqi said with relief, the Empress Dowager instructed this servant to bring soup to the 8th princess 3 times a day until she recovers. His Majesty said with satisfaction, go and tell the Empress Dowager that I am well and she needn't worry. Qiqi respectfully replied, yes, this servant will take her leave. This scene felt so familiar, no longer strange. She patted her full belly. I'm full. She hadn't forgotten the important matter. Father, I'm full. Let's go find older brother. His Majesty said, I'll send someone to find your friend in a moment. I have something more important to attend to right now. She scratched her head in confusion. Something more important. What is it? His Majesty didn't answer, simply picking her up. At that moment, at the other end of the bridge, older brother Shu was looking for her. Where did little dumpling run off to? Could she be too hungry and went to find food herself? He was a little worried. Could she have been captured by consort Shu again? As he searched, he overheard a rather interesting conversation. He heard the palace servants gossiping as they walked. Thank heavens, His Majesty has finally awakened. The 8th princess is truly a lucky star. As soon as she arrived, His Majesty recovered. No wonder His Majesty has the 8th princess stay in the 4 gods' palace. He breathed a sigh of relief. So the little one is with His Majesty. That's good. That way, no one will bully her. However, one thing was one thing, and grudges were grudges. That tyrant, he was almost dead, yet he still woke up. Truly, good people don't live long, but scourges last 1,000 years. Little dumpling and the emperor are father and daughter after all. She's still the daughter of his enemy. He couldn't keep thinking about her. He kept trying to convince himself, but reality kept slapping him in the face. He suddenly became indifferent. Since she has someone to rely on now, she probably won't come looking for me again. A stone flew out of nowhere and hit him. It was the 2nd prince of Great Jin, whose mother was noble consort Shu. The 2nd prince arrogantly commanded, throw. Throw at him, all of you. You thing, looking for a beating so early in the morning? I'll grant your wish. The servants around him follow the second prince's orders to the letter, stones constantly pelting him. Seeing that this guy wasn't easy to knock down, the second prince decided to do it himself. Is he dead? Putting on airs for whom all day long. It's time to exercise those muscles. Beat him until he gives up. Just as he was about to strike, a voice shouted, "Stop." The second prince was about to make his move, but was interrupted. He turned around impatiently, which little rabbit dares to interfere. As soon as he turned around, the emperor's palanquin arrived. The emperor merely glared at him, the second prince, coldly, a warning in his eyes. Upon seeing the emperor, the second prince's face paled. "Father." Feng Dao rushed down and ran towards older brother Shu. She said worriedly, "Older brother Shu, they're bullying you again. Don't be afraid. My father is here. They won't dare." Older brother Shu tried to shake off her hand. "It's nothing. Don't worry about me." On the contrary, she was delighted to see him. "Older brother Shu, that's great. I was looking for you. I've seen father. You don't have to worry anymore." She turned to the emperor. "Father, older brother Shu saved me." The emperor simply instructed eunuch Zhang, "Take Prince Yumi back and get him some clean clothes." Eunuch Zhang could only obey. "Yes, your majesty." However, the emperor had many questions in his mind. Since when did this little thing start caring about him? Prince Yumi. The commotion here reached someone's ears. Consort Shu came out. Who is making such a racket here? Upon seeing the emperor, she immediately bowed, "Your Majesty." She was overjoyed to see the emperor here, "Your Majesty." The smile didn't last long before the emperor ordered kneel. Consort Shu knelt down, confused, "Your Majesty." The emperor looked coldly at Feng Dao. "Little thing, which hand did she hit you with?" Feng Dao scratched her head, thinking, who remembers which hand hit them after being beaten? I don't remember. Consort Shu intensely disliked her. "This consort only has eyes for your majesty. I didn't expect this little Utto to be here. Why is your majesty with her?" The emperor simply ordered, "Someone cripple Consort Shu's hands." Hearing this, Consort Shu cried and begged for mercy. "Your majesty, please spare my life. It's my fault. I'm sorry." Eighth princess. Trembling, Consort Shu, turned to Feng Dao and pleaded, "Eighth princess, I'm sorry. Please spare my life." The second prince also rushed forward to plead, "Father, please forgive Mother Consort." Even the second prince didn't know what had happened. What exactly had his mother consort done to make his father so angry? Little Dumpling was equally surprised. Was father crippling Consort Shu to vent his anger for me? Consort Shu, was dragged away by the servants. "Your Majesty, spare my life." The second prince screamed beside her, "Mother." Eunuch Zhang was not surprised by this scene. The little princess was now the apple of his majesty's eye. Consort Shu dared to touch the little princess. This was a warning to the entire harem. No one should even think about bullying her. The emperor only felt that this mother and son were too noisy. Drag them away. Little Dumpling looked at her father worriedly. Father's lead sheet is too heavy. She couldn't let him commit more killing. Thinking this, she ran over and said, "Father, I forgive her." If the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, then tears are the weapon that strikes directly at the heart. Of course, only if you're as pretty or cute as she is right now. Please don't punish her anymore. Okay. The emperor felt his whole life was being questioned. He picked her up. "She treated you like that, and you forgive her so easily." Little Dumpling grinned. "Yes, I forgive her. I don't want father to become so fierce because of me." Little Dumpling thought, if father's hands are stained with blood again, his body will be even harder to recover. The second prince ran to Consort Shu's side and said to the servants, "Let her go for now." Little Dumpling kept pleading. "Father said he would grant me one request, but we met older brother Shu. Father didn't find him." "Then can father agree not to chop off Consort Shu's hands now?" With Little Dumpling pleading like this, how could the emperor bear to refuse? "All right, since that's the case, father will listen to you. I'm so happy to have such a thoughtful daughter. My little cotton-padded jacket is still such a clever little rascal." Consort Shu was stunned. His Majesty had actually retracted his order because of this little girl's words. Such a thing had never happened before. No one had ever been able to change His Majesty's mind. Yet this little girl had done it. Now she finally understood her own insignificance. From now on, she couldn't afford to offend this little girl. And so, having listened to Little Dumpling, the emperor lessened the punishment. Consort Shu was stripped of her title as consort, demoted to noble lady, and confined to the cold palace. Eunuch Zhang accepted the decree. "Yes, your majesty." Consort Shu was dumbfounded. Thank you, your majesty, for your mercy." The second prince worried about his mother, said, "Mother Consort, I will definitely save you." Little Dumpling was delighted that her father had listened to her. "Father, you're so kind. And this way, the Ye Qiqi around you won't increase anymore." The emperor said gently, "As long as you're happy. Come, let's go." Back outside Little Dumpling's palace, Nanny Shu had been waiting for a long time. "Greetings, Your Majesty. This old servant heard that the 8th princess was here, so I came to find her. This old servant failed to take good care of the 8th princess. This old servant deserves death." Little Dumpling was happy to see Nanny Shu and said, "Nanny, it wasn't your fault." Seeing how close Little Dumpling and Nanny Shu were, the emperor spoke gently to Nanny Shu. "Be more careful in the future." Now, it was Nanny Shu's turn to be surprised. Not only was the little princess being held in His Majesty's arms, she even dared to be so close to him, and His Majesty was actually so gentle. The emperor glanced at Nanny Shu, feeling a little grateful in his heart. Fortunately, this loyal nanny had been taking care of this little rascal. Otherwise, where would this old emperor get such a heartwarming little cotton-padded jacket? The emperor said, "Rise. From now on, you will take care of the 8th princess in the Four Gods Palace." Little Dumpling was reaching out for a hug. Nanny Shu, hug. While sending spiritual energy to her father, she thought about Nanny Shu. "I haven't seen Nanny Shu for days. She looks so haggard, and her body seems weaker than before. I need to send her more healing spiritual energy." So Nanny Shu picked her up. "Yes, Your Majesty." As soon as Nanny Shu saw Little Dumpling, her eyes reddened. "Little princess, it's this old servant's fault. Even if it meant risking my life, I shouldn't have let them take you away. You must have suffered these past few days." Little Dumpling immediately comforted her. "It's not your fault, Nanny, and father has already avenged me." The emperor ruffled her hair. "All right, little rascal. I have to go attend to state affairs. Let Nanny accompany you." So Little Dumpling went to the emperor's imperial study, wandering around and touching things, but she soon got bored. This place really wasn't suitable for children. Father's place was so boring, there weren't even any snacks. She sighed like a little old lady, too bored to even speak. The emperor was already used to this. "What's wrong, little rascal?" Sighing again, she bluntly expressed her opinion. "Father, there are no snacks here. I'm thinking of bringing some of my own next time." Consort Shu had so many beautiful and delicious snacks on her table, much more than here. She also thought about older brother Shu's Ye Qiqi, who hadn't eaten anything either. "I need to bring delicious food for older brother Shu too." Hearing her speak so frankly, the emperor was taken aback, but someone else was more worried about their 13-month salary. "This servant deserves death. It was this servant's negligence. I forgot to instruct the imperial kitchen to prepare some snacks that the 8th princess enjoys." Little Dumpling quickly explained, "It's okay. I'll just bring my own snacks next time." She jumped down from the chair. "Father, you haven't fully recovered yet. You can't always be busy reviewing memorials. Work for half an hour, rest for half an hour. Even adults need to be obedient." The emperor patted her head. "All right, father will listen to you." He looked at her with loving eyes, unlike those other annoying brats. "I have so many children, but none of them care about my health. No one ever tells me to rest. This little rascal, whom I've always neglected, not only doesn't resent me, but cares about me so much." As usual, she took the opportunity to transfer some spiritual energy to him. "Father, hug." Then she asked the emperor, "Father, can I go out and play for a while?" The emperor only instructed her, "Let Nanny accompany you." She happily ran out. As she was walking, she bumped into someone wearing familiar clothes. She was a little scared. "Empress Dowager, I didn't do it on purpose." To her surprise, the Empress Dowager was very happy to see her. "Isn't this my dear little granddaughter? Come here quickly." The Empress Dowager's 180-degree change in attitude made her puzzled. In the afternoon, inside the emperor's bedchamber, Kai arrived with food. 8th princess. The Empress Dowager specifically instructed the imperial kitchen to prepare snacks for you and ordered this servant to personally deliver them. Just like that, a mountain of snacks appeared. How could a little foodie resist? Wow, they smell so good, and they look so delicious. "Are these all for me?" A gentle hand rested on her head, and the Empress Dowager looked at her lovingly. "Of course, my dear child. Eat more if you like them." She bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Empress Dowager." The Empress Dowager found her extremely adorable. "Call me Imperial Grandmother." She picked up the basket of snacks. "Father, can I take these out and eat them while I play?" The emperor couldn't refuse, but he reminded her, "Go ahead, but be careful." So she carried the basket and ran out. The Empress Dowager instructed Nanny Shu, "Nanny Shu, quickly follow my dear granddaughter. Don't let her fall." She called out in the vast Qingxian palace, "Older brother Ye Qiqi. Older brother Ye Qiqi." Standing in front of his room, she said, "I brought you some delicious treats." Only silence answered her. She pressed her ear against the door. Could it be that older brother Ye Qiqi isn't here? She knocked repeatedly. "Older brother Ye Qiqi, I brought you some delicious treats. Open the door quickly. Let's eat together." He finally replied, "I don't want to play with you anymore. Don't come looking for me again." She didn't understand why Ye Qiqi said that. "Why were you so nice to me? You grilled fish for me and even saved me without hesitation." He answered bitterly, "No reason. Just go. Don't come looking for me again." His coldness brought tears to her eyes. "Older brother Ye Qiqi is the first friend I made here, but now he's telling me not to look for him anymore." She wiped away her tears. Fine. Even so, she still placed the food in front of his door, not forgetting to say, "I'll leave these snacks here for you. If you want to find me, remember to come to Qiqi Palace." Then she quietly left. Inside, Ye Qiqi fell into deep thought. Hearing her voice, "Little dumpling," she must have cried. He recalled the look in her eyes when she called him. Older brother Ye Qiqi. Faced with love, he told himself, she is Feng Yaren's daughter. Whether she is sad or not has nothing to do with me. The way she cheerfully called him older brother Ye Qiqi, or when he recalled her looking at him with teary eyes, even the way she spoke languidly. "I'm sorry, older brother Ye Qiqi. I will protect you from now on. I will never let them bully you again." Every memory surfaced, making him sigh helplessly. He finally relented and opened the door. He also picked up a food she had left, muttering to himself, since he wouldn't open the door for her, you shouldn't eat the food she brought. But perhaps his words didn't match his actions. His stomach growled loudly. In the face of food, pride can be thrown aside. Anyway, this is food from Little Bean. I'll lose to her sooner or later. Why pretend to be so aloof? So he took the food and went inside. She had been hiding in the corner, observing everything. "So older brother Ye Qiqi still ate the food I brought. Doesn't that mean he doesn't hate me that much?" Suddenly, Nanny Shu appeared out of nowhere. "Little princess, what are you doing here?" She forced a smile. "Oh, Nanny, you scared me." Nanny Shu hugged her. "Little princess, don't be afraid. It's this old servant's fault." She looked towards Ye Qiqi's room. A trace of worry flashed in Nanny Shu's eyes. "The hostage Prince Yumi of Great Ming is imprisoned here. Let's go back." She hesitated a little. "I came to see older brother Ye Qiqi and bring him some treats." Nanny Shu then asked, "Little princess, how do you know Prince Yumi?" She started to cry like a wronged newlywed. "Nanny, am I really that annoying? Is that why older brother Ye Qiqi ignores me?" Nanny Shu hugged her and comforted her. "Little princess, you're so adorable. How can anyone not like you? Perhaps Prince Yumi is just in a bad mood and doesn't want to talk to anyone." Hearing this, she agreed. I also think older brother Ye Qiqi wouldn't hate me. Then I'll wait a few more days. When older brother Ye Qiqi is in a better mood, I'll go find him again." Seeing her calm down, Nanny Shu said, "Little princess, let's go home, okay?" She looked at the closed door reluctantly and replied, "Okay." Elsewhere, the emperor was ordering people to look for her. "Quickly send someone to find the little princess." He had just sent people out when she returned. "Father." The emperor was frantic. "Where did you go? Why are you only back now?" He hugged her, his heart aching for his daughter. "Look how cold your face is." She said, "I want to give older brother Ye Qiqi some snacks." The emperor immediately knew who she was talking about. "Older brother Ye Qiqi. You mean Ye Qiqi? What did you go to him for?" Upon learning this, he frowned and asked her, "Did he bully you?" "Let father see." Just like that, the afternoon quietly passed, but the story wasn't over yet. She replied, "Older brother Feng Yaren is very nice, but he wouldn't open the door for me." A flash of hatred crossed his eyes. The emperor gritted his teeth. "That little brat." She trembled with fear. "Father, don't be angry." She was almost in tears from fright. "Father looks so scary like this." Hearing his daughter's words, the emperor calmed down slightly. "Did I scare my little darling?" So he hurriedly embraced her and comforted her. "I'm not angry, just a little upset." She replied with a dubious, "Oh." But the emperor's anger still lingered. "Don't go looking for that brat Prince Yumi again." Unwilling to comply, she retorted, "Why not?" The emperor fell silent. "He's not one of our people. You shouldn't have too much contact with him." Still confused, she questioned, The emperor was deep in thought, worried that his daughter would be swept away by that boy. Judging by the situation, she had known Prince Yumi for more than just a day or two. That brat was full of tricks and definitely up to no good. The emperor turned to eunuch Zhang and instructed, "Prepare the room next door. From today onwards, the 8th princess will stay here." Eunuch Zhang acknowledged the order. "Yes, your majesty." His mind raced. Of all the emperor's offspring, none had ever been allowed to sleep so close. Only the 8th princess. She immediately brightened. Great, I can sleep with father. On the other hand, I can finally transfer a lot of spiritual energy to father. However, things don't always go as planned. In the room next door, she sat alone on the bed, stamping her feet in a huff. Father tricked me. Nanny Shu came over and asked, "Little princess, what's wrong? Who upset you?" She replied, "Nanny, I came here because I want to sleep with father, but father only said the next room. He didn't say we could sleep together." She sighed, realizing she was truly daydreaming. "I thought I would have more opportunities to be close to father and replenish his spiritual energy to heal him. Now that we're sleeping separately, how can I transfer my spiritual energy to him?" Nanny Shu explained, "That won't do. You're a girl. How can you sleep with the emperor? I'm only 3.5 years old, but I'm just a child. Why can't I sleep with father?" In ordinary families, 3.5-year-old children all sleep with their parents. She really wanted to sleep with her father because she was a walking tonic. Father's body is still unstable. He just drank my blood, and for him, healing spiritual energy is a very effective medicine. Now he needs more. Nanny Shu smiled affectionately. Little princess is still a child, and without a mother, it's normal to be attached to the emperor. She caressed Little Dumpling, but still won't do. Be good. Nanny will help you rest tonight. Little Dumpling was unusually obedient today. Okay, then I'll go to sleep now. Nanny, you should go to bed early too. Nanny Shu agreed. All right. Nanny will go to sleep after you've fallen asleep. The more I look at her, the more I adore her. Our little princess is becoming more and more sensible. Such a lovable child. Little Dumpling obediently closed her eyes, preparing for a good night's sleep. That loud snoring, that sleeping posture, definitely inherited. Seeing that she was fast asleep, Nanny Shu carefully tucked her in. Children are such clever little sprites. She peeked open one eye to see if Nanny Shu had left. As the door closed, silence returned to the room, confirming that no one was around. She sat up and grinned mischievously. Hee, if there's no opportunity, I'll create one to transfer spiritual energy to father for healing. So she jumped straight out of bed and stumbled out of the room, determined not to be discovered. Thus, under the dim light, she tiptoed towards the emperor's bedchamber. Arriving at her destination, she was ecstatic. Father is sleeping here. But no matter how hard she tried, the door wouldn't open. It didn't budge. She used all her might, but the door remained firmly shut. The door just won't open. Who would have thought? Shocking. Father actually locks his door when he sleeps. I can't sneak in now. Despair is hard to hide. I was still thinking of secretly finding father to transfer spiritual energy to heal him, but I didn't expect to be stopped by this door. Inside, he heard the door creaking. This startled the emperor awake. An assassin. He flung back the covers, revealing a physique that would captivate any woman in the world. His hand already gripped his sword, prepared for a fight to the death. The emperor slowly opened the door. The door opened, and she was delighted. She had thought to surprise her father, but instead, she was startled by the sword in his hand. The sword pointed at her face, and she cried out in alarm, "Father!" She shrieked, "Father! Father!" Hearing her call, the emperor finally came to his senses. Little rascal, feeling a little embarrassed to be seen by his child in such a state of undress, the emperor mumbled flusteredly, "Why aren't you asleep yet? What are you doing in front of my bedchamber?" She hugged the emperor's leg. "Father, I'm scared. I want to sleep with you." The emperor picked her up. "What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare?" So that night, with wind chimes tinkling, she wrung her hands and said pitifully, "I had a nightmare. Nanny Shu said I couldn't sleep with you, but I'm scared." Looking at his trembling daughter, a flicker of tenderness flashed across the emperor's eyes. Seeing her dressed so lightly, His Majesty immediately replied, "Who said you couldn't sleep with father? Be good. Don't be afraid. Father is here. She's really quite clever. Father is the best." This was a truth she had discovered since moving here. As the old saying goes, life is like a play. It all depends on acting. Wait a minute. He gently placed her down on the extravagant CEO-sized dragon bed. "You sleep first. Father still has government affairs to attend to." She clung tightly to him, refusing to let go. "Don't go. Father, sleep with me too. I'm scared." She was gradually understanding why His Majesty was so frail and sickly. No wonder Father was so young, yet so weak. His vital energy almost depleted. Out of 12 hours in a day, he probably spent 10 dealing with government affairs. Father can't continue to exhaust himself like this. He needs to sleep properly when it's time to sleep. No matter how important the issue, it can't delay sleep. Even if the sky falls, sleep must come first. His Majesty knew this little one was incredibly stubborn. This child, of the 36 stratagems, the beauty trap truly never fails. His Majesty sighed, giving in. Indulging her little tantrum, he said, "Don't be afraid, I'm here." She hugged His Majesty. "Father is the best person in the world." She yawned. "I'm really sleepy now." His Majesty had agreed to her request, and she was content. Night deepened. She told herself, a benefactor whom one searches for 1,000 years, finally having the opportunity to repay, even becoming their child. How wonderful. And so, nestled in His Majesty's arms, she began to snore softly. His Majesty had planned to slip away while the little one was finally asleep. But this trick was a new little thing. Sensing the movement, she hugged him tighter. Seeing this, His Majesty had no choice but to lie back down. This child, even in her sleep, she's so clingy. His Majesty looked at her with loving eyes. Very well, let the little one sleep soundly. He hadn't expected to experience this feeling of blood connection in this lifetime. I always thought I would grow old alone. Descendants I have many, but not one truly dare to be close to me. Whether servants or royal relatives, all tremble before me, walking on thin ice. It's irritating just to look at them. He stroked her hair. But this seemingly fragile little thing isn't afraid of me at all. She has allowed me to experience the feeling of being a father. Watching her sleep so peacefully, I'm feeling sleepy too. Elsewhere, His Majesty is majestic and awe-inspiring, with all subjects bowing in submission. The cold-faced god of war of the past, so imposing, is now just an ordinary person. He noticed the acacia tree. This tree feels familiar, this scene too. Intrigued, he picked up an acacia bean. How interesting. Renovating, Bex, Dangerosly step. This must be where she cultivated before. He cast a spell on the acacia bean, not forgetting to instruct it, "I'm planting you here, in the future you." Before he could finish, his gaze fixed. It was her, the current Fong Duo, calling out father. And she, too, emerged from that sprouted acacia bean. Her past life's benefactor was stunned. Meanwhile, His Majesty woke up, hearing her murmuring in his ear, "Ah, father, don't hurt father." Tears welled in her eyes as she kept calling out father. Seeing this, His Majesty comforted her. "Don't be afraid, father is here." She giggled. Perhaps that voice had entered her dreams, allowing her to fall back into a peaceful sleep. But His Majesty wasn't so lucky, still replaying that dream in his mind. Why would I have such a strange dream? Perhaps the child in my arms is a gift from heaven.